So, not a clue. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Good evening and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport here live for the penultimate week of racing here at the Pro-Am Series. It is Valencia this week that we are tackling as we head home to Donington Park for the finale next time out. I'm Mathew Duffin, joined in the commentary box tonight with Gray Langley as always. I forgot to add Steve to the service, so Steve Gillies won't be joining us tonight, sadly. So apologies for that one. Apologies, Steve, if you are listening. Just been a crazy day today and forgot to get you in on time. But it's penultimate week, Langers, which means championships are on the line. And although I don't think any championships can be confirmed tonight, or at least maybe provisionally confirmed, there's a chance for drivers to bring themselves back into play going into that Donington decider.
Yeah, no more drop scores, and it's time for drivers to really declare who they want to be in this championship. I believe you said Steve Millington will not be able to make it tonight. He is P2 in the standings right now, but that does leave the door open for the likes of Sam Williams, and depending on how the BMW is around here compared to the McLaren, it could make for a spicy ending to this championship. All very close out front anyway.
I don't think the BMW is going to be great tonight. Yes, Sam Greaves and Wolski are up there, but you can see Tanner Kneebone struggling, Hunt struggling as well. But Gary Leach leads the way on 906 points. He is 82 points clear of Steve Millington. Williams is only 4.5 points behind Steve Millington, but Steve is going to try and, I think, make it for race 2. He's going to hope to try and make it back for race 1, but we'll see if he can or not. Sam Williams is, Mirko Ricci is then P4. He's 3 points behind Sam. And them two lead the way tonight. They could really bring themselves in contention tonight. Wolski a little further back from them two, some 40-odd points. He's got a lot of work to do tonight if he is to bring himself back into this contention. Now, he can stay within the mix, but a lot of work he needs to do. Hunt is 6th. He also can stay in the mix. Kieran Argent isn't here tonight. He's P7, so he'll probably drop out of that running in this one tonight. Sam Greaves is 8th. He'll look to get back into the mix. Tanner Kneebone will try and stay in there, as will Johnson and Keenan Stardog, but Stardog very unlikely out of all of them based on the points that he needs to be scoring over the likes of Gary Leach. Safe to say. The drivers that cannot win it is Gabino, Flores, De Block, Williams, Sturrock, Brian Craig, Betterson, Popovich, Dronelander, Taylor, Bounce Limiter and Cummins. And in bronze, it is only a 66 point swing, I believe it is, between Peckman and Broom, with Stapley in the mix, as well as Malarex as well. So keep your eyes on them for Cherrymore, Tucker and Privet, still in contention for now, and could be by the end of the night, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with them. Taylor, Page, Simcoe and Rob Smith cannot win it. And in that team's championship, there's only 4 teams left up for grabs. Greasy Bandits in 4th, Forever Forward in 3rd, 4Q in 2nd, and SimPlay Racing leading the way. But with one SimPlay Racing driver down, and the likelihood of Gary not necessarily going to have the best of nights tonight based on the BMW around this circuit, well, that just brings the other 3 teams right back into contention here. But without Kieran Argent, Forever Forward are also going to struggle.
Yeah, so it's going to be really difficult to see who claims the constructors in this one. It's going to be really hard to calculate. As well, I'm really interested in the Bronze Championship. Peckman 5th in Bronze right now in this practice session. Simcoe's actually 9th, and Neil Broom up there in P7. Really good. I think the mid-engine cars are going to do the best tonight. And that's just because the characteristics of the track. You have a lot of corners here around Valencia where you're coming out of a corner, which is shifting the weight to the outside tires, and then you need to be instantly on the brakes. The mid-engine corner... the mid-engine cars are better at dealing with that than the front engine, which will create some understeer on corner entry and corner exit. So we'll see how the BMW fares. It was very strong around Imola. It was probably the best car around Imola because the way it's able to tackle the curbs around this place or around that place was second to none. But this place, the curb's much more flat, and yeah, I think we're in for a spicy one. I think it's going to make the standings tighten up a lot before the Donington decider next week.
Yeah, and I find this really interesting, Langley, to keep our eyes on, because all three championships can really close up tonight, and they can really become an interesting Donington Park reverse grid and 60-minute races. Oh, we see Taylor there into the back of the block with a minute 16 left of practice. So it's going to be huge for these drivers tonight to make sure that what they're doing is absolutely spot on, because the minute Gary Leach may slip up tonight, and the likes of Mirko Ricci and Sam Williams, who are the top two in the championship so far, with Greaves and Johnson also in the mix. Wolski's well ahead of him. If them drivers can have a good result to Gary's bad result, that could bring in 6 or 7 drivers into that Donington decider where we might not know which way it goes.
It'll make for a very spicy final round. We didn't really get to see that championship fight down to the wire last year. Benny Varga dominating the rest of the field. But I think we just might have a chance with the way this round lays out as the penultimate round. Just to spice things up in the championship, I think it's the perfect time for some drivers just to get their names back in the running at the front of the field, and just give themselves a chance going into the final rounds.
Yeah, I agree. What do we think on Valencia, though, Gray? It's well known for its motorbike racing, not necessarily for its GT3 racing. The stream apparently cannot hear the cars, and I don't have a clue as to why. The browser setting is unmuted, but I can't see any option. The only other thing I think I may have done is, let me just double check this. No, it's all unmuted there. Let me know, guys, if you can hear the audio of the cars or not. As I'm not sure what has happened here, but I will try and get it sorted in just a moment. So ignore what you can see on screen at the minute. And we will try and get this sorted just before the first race of the day. We apologise for this. Streamlab had a few updates to do, and now it's removed the browser source, so it is unmuted when I go into the settings, but sadly it is not there when I'm trying to get this done. So just bear with me 2 seconds, and we will try and get this up and running as quick as possible for you. Has that added the browser source option now? No, it has not. So I don't know why we're not getting the game audio in this one at the moment. It's not even showing certain other audios in this, so I do apologise at the moment. We are trying to work on this as quick as we possibly can, but at the time being, I'm not certain on what is actually back over. See, the browser source is saying that it is unmuted. Let me know if you can hear the cars now, though, and hopefully that has possibly sorted itself out. And hopefully we'll get this back sorted for tomorrow in itself, for if it has managed to work itself out. We will try and get it sorted. Hopefully you'll be able to hear the car sounds in just a couple of moments. I'm going to try just one more thing. And let us know if you can hear the cars in the chat as soon as you possibly can. That'll do us a massive favour so that we know they are working. And let's see if we can get this up and running right now then. So get that up and do that, and let's see if this will now work here in this one. So again, please let us know if you can hear the car noises. I'm not seeing the desktop audio, or the browser source audio on my mixer. Langley, run us through the grid a second.
With the reverse grid tonight, it is Andy Taylor in his Cloud9 car starting on pole position. Then it's Jerome Lander in P2. Popovich, P3, been very good the past few weeks. Sturrock in P4, DeBlock P5, keep an eye out on him. Very good in these reverse grid races. Diego Flores P6 with Keenan Stardog P7. Michael Johnson P8 with the two Porsches lining up right next to each other. Tanner Kneebone P9 and Sam Greaves P10. Mike Hunt in P11. Wolski P12. Mirko Ricci, P13. Sam Williams lines up in 14th, right next to the championship leader, Gary Leach, who lines up in his BMW in P15. Then in the bronze class, the reverse grid, it is Simcoe in 16th, McTaylor 17th, Privet in 18th. Tucker in 19th, Cherry Moore in 20th, then it's Stapley 21st, Malarex 22nd, and then your two championship protagonists at the moment, Neil Broom 23rd and bronze championship leader Peckman rounds off the back of that field.
So Peckman rounds out the back of that field. We are trying to still work on these audio issues, and we'll try and get them sorted for you as soon as we can, but at the moment we are not hearing anything so far, so we will try and get this sorted for you as soon as we possibly can, and once we have that sorted we will be able to get this ball moving and get underway straight away for you. For some reason that's turned the screen off and now I can't see. There we go, we've got the stream back. For some reason it's gone down to small screen again. They just love technology and all the issues that they have that come with them. It's absolutely fantastic. We're rounding, though, the final corner as we're about to get ready for this next race. And hopefully you have got the audio of the cars now. Please let us know in chat if you can hear it or not. We'll try and get it sorted for race 2 if not. But we're about to go green here at Valencia for the first time today. It is Andrew Taylor who is on pole position. Can he get away well in this one? We'll see what happens as they come towards the line. I've got it coming through my speakers, but we're all green and go, and it's Andrew Taylor who does get a good start. Popovic already moving into second place, with then that of Dronelander on the outside. That is Sturrock trying to come through as well, but De Block trying to squeeze up the inside, gets the pair of them. Dronelander spins De Block around. Not a lot he could do about it, to be fair. He come across the nose, did De Block, and Dronelander was already there waiting in the wings. Johnson and Kneebone going side by side, trying to stay in this championship fight, moving up the order. They go now as they look down towards turn number 4. Here at Valencia for the 15-minute sprint race, and so far so good for Michael Johnson as Mirko Ricci's on the back of Gary Leach. Gary's made up a couple of positions. Sam Williams still in front, but Mirko Ricci has dropped down a few. Gary with a little wiggle there, that's going to hurt him if Ricci gets past. Remember, they've all got to outscore Gary Leach to stay in this championship as much as they can. Popovic attacking the leader, Andrew Taylor though, Langley, at the end, into the middle sector of this first lap.
Yeah, Popovic has been really quick these last few weeks, and it looks like it's bound to happen that he's going to take the lead of the race at some point, putting Andy Taylor under so much pressure in the early stages of this thing. And yeah, big scraps down the field. I think Popovic should be the favorite to win this one, but the longer he hangs behind Taylor, the less likely that is.
Indeed so. So what can Popovic do? Dronelander's got a lot of work to do because he's got Sturrock looking on the outside of him, and 3 wide between Stardog. Johnson, who goes into the gravel. Tanner Kneebone as well, was side by side with Stardog. It's early pit runner there. That is Popovic coming into the pits, as does Stardog, and a few others just behind him. I believe that was Greaves coming into the pits as well. It was Greaves indeed. So a lot of drivers, Langley, taking to the pits here at the end of the first lap of this race. So we'll see what they can do now as they come down start lap number 2. In this one, it is Wolski leading the way. It is Wolski in P7. Where is Gary Leach? He stayed out. He's still ahead of Mirko Ricci. Sorry, Langley.
Yeah, Popovic pitted early to try to get some clean air and not have to worry about overtaking Andy Taylor. If I were Andy, I pit this lap to make sure I try to cover that off, but it's going to be difficult.
It is going to be difficult indeed. So we'll see what is going to happen here for Andrew Taylor and see if he can get anything out of this, as at the moment he is not able to so far. At the moment we don't know what is going to happen because he's been into the pit lane, and they're half a lap down. You lose quite a bit of time here as Gary Leach has gone very, very deep. Mirko Ricci was under pressure from Cherry Moore. Not anymore because he's going side by side with Gary Leach. This could be crucial for bringing Mirko back into this championship, but no, backs out of that one and stays behind once again. So Mirko can't get through at the moment. Out front, Dronelander trying to get onto the rear of Sturrock. Flores staying with him, as is Tanner Nebo, Michael Johnson and Wolski. Then you've got a big gap back to Gary Leach, where you then see Mirko Ricci and Cherry Moore fighting it out. And out the pit lane, Stardog under pressure from Sam Greaves. Hunt 9/10. In fact, no, Hunt has actually jumped Sam Greaves there, looking at that. And it's Stardog who's on the back of Popovic, apologies. So Hunt and Greaves battling it out. Sam Williams just behind them too. Simcoe is your net pit bronze leader at the moment. Neil Broom to block, and then Privet down the back after his pit stop. Kneebone, Johnson, Richie, Malarex all into the pits. That's surely Richie there looking to try and get the undercut on Gary Leach.
Yeah, and I'm really... Stardog came out a lot closer to Popovic than I would have expected anyone come out closer to Popovic. So could Stardog be on the podium for this one? As of right now, with the pit cycle, he would be in that top 3.
He would be at the moment. Let's see what happens. 2 seconds. Please let us know in the chat if you can hear the audio or not. But here comes Popovic and Stardog. That is Johnson away. So Johnson's going to get the jump on Tananebo.
Is he? No, he's not. Lap of the race.
Sturrock, well, good lap from Sturrock there. And look at Tananebo, pretty close to the back of Stardog, actually. Not a million miles away if you look at where he's come out the pits. So he's gained a bit of time there, so good for him. Stardog still on the back. Sam Greaves still with them as well at the moment. In fact, no, he's not. He's lost out to Sam Williams. So Sam Williams has gained an extra place here. This is crucial for these drivers as Sturrock is gaining on Andrew Taylor at the moment. Into the final corner they go. Do they decide to pit? Sturrock is into the pit lane then as Andrew Taylor stays out. They are about to come up to Privet to put a lap on him. Remember, he has already done his stop, but Andrew Taylor leads the way with Cherry Moore also now pitting, and Popovic really coming under pressure from Stardog. Paul should be a good car here as well tonight.
Yep, the light nature of the Porsche and the nimbleness of that car, along with the mid-engine car, is very good around a track like this tonight, and the heavy traction zones should help that Porsche out immensely compared to the front-engine cars.
It does indeed. So let's see what happens at the moment.
Ooh, Kneebone's really wide. Kneebone's really wide, and that's going to open the door for Michael Johnson to come through.
Johnson's another one that needs a good result with Tanner Kneebone to try and stay in this championship fight. Gary Leach at the moment in P5, but not lapping particularly great. If I look at the last laps from the drivers at the moment, Gary Leach down in the 33.4s, while you look at these drivers who's pitted, Popovic... In fact, actually, no, we can't look at their lap times because they was their out laps. This is Tanner and Johnson's out lap here. So we'll be able to see what Popovic has done when he's crossed the line. There is Sturrock coming out the pit lane. Sturrock's got the jump over Popovic in this race. So Sturrock there by a comfortable margin, Langley, as well, to be fair.
Yeah, so I wonder if Popovic may have mistakenly taken tires or something, because I would have expected him to come out in front, but not the case. And Stardog is putting Popovic under all sorts of pressure right now.
Yeah, indeed he is. And he is trying to keep him under as much pressure as he possibly can. But this is now where it's going to be difficult for him. And he's got to just try and get this one done. We'll see what Popovic can do in this race, as I believe there is no audio coming through. So we do apologise for that. We will try and get the audio to come through. In fact, actually, what I might do is this might bring the audio on. Let's just see if it will. There we go. We've got the audio on now. Langley, just speak for us a second so I can make sure that it's not overpowering.
Test 1 and 2.
I've got you, and it seemed to go up a little louder there, so it should go up normally. Let us know if you can now hear the game audio, ladies and gentlemen. I will try and get that sorted when I can. But so far, you have to say it's been a good start to this race. If you are that of Andrew Taylor, and if the overcut does work, well, then he could be sitting pretty for a win at the end of this one. Wolski putting Flores under some pressure now.
Look where Dronelander comes out here. Dronelander out of his box, not off his limiter yet, though. It doesn't matter anyway.
Oh, what a shame for him, because he's now got that stop go 30, and Sturrock sliding wide. Oh, manages to hold on to that one. Stardog now having a little look up the inside line as Dronelander forced Johnson even wider than he'd have liked there. And through they all go, so not bad at the moment. Langley is a little quiet.
Oh,
thank you very much. I'll get that one sorted.
Dronelander just spun off the track at turn 2. Actually, I think Sam had an off as well.
Is he? Possibly so. Yeah, he was a 10th behind that of Hunt. He's now a little bit further back, but he has got the fastest lap of the race as Taylor and Leach now into the pit lane. Popovic and Stardog are coming now on the back of Sturrock, as here goes Wolski trying to have a look on Diego Flores. Langley should be better now. I've turned the audio down for that of the stream, so everything should be fine now. But here goes that of Wolski trying to chase down Diego Flores. Further back we've got Sturrock, Popovic and Stardog duking it out. Tanner's trying to gain on the back of Johnson. Tanner a little deep once again. Mirko Ricci is down in 14th place, so what will he be able to do in this race at the moment? If we tumble down a little bit more, Neil Broom trying to gain on the back of Dronelander, which is a helpless cause really for Dronelander to fight, because he's got that penalty coming his way with the stop-go penalty, so it's a fight he doesn't really need to take on. And where did Andrew Taylor come out the pits? Well, he's leaving the pit lane now. I think Sturrock's going to be leading this race. Taylor comes off the limiter, picks up a stop-go penalty for his troubles, and Andrew Taylor there has lost out several positions, and with the stop-go penalty, that is going to hurt him even more. But crucially, where is Gary Leach? He's behind Tanner Nebo. So Tanner gaining points, Johnson gaining points, Stardog trying to gain points as well. Sam Greaves, Hunt, Ritchie, Sam Williams, all behind championship leader Gary Leach. That is not the position, Langley, they'd have wanted to be in.
No, it wouldn't be. And Sam Williams going side by side with Mike Hunt right now, who Hunt goes a little bit deep, lets Sam tuck in back underneath, but tries to hold it round the outside there. They're going side by side for a good portion of this lap here.
They are indeed, and Sam Williams is going to try and get around the outside line. This could be a good move for Sam Williams. Gets shoveled out a little bit wide, and he won't want to lose any more places in this one at the moment, and he might be coming under pressure now from Stapley further back, who's alongside him and up the inside. Williams brakes later, gets it stopped and turned in. Can't get into the full apex of the corner. Now he's still on that outside line, gets ahead of Stapley. Behind them we've got Malarex and Tyler De Block duking it out, as well as De Block looking around the outside. We saw a few moves around the outside here last night that worked really, really well. As we say good evening to Stothard, Peaceful Stepdad Class, and Gary Clawball in the chat. And Tyler De Block cannot get past Malarex at the moment. But the overcut didn't work for Andrew Taylor. Sturrock leads from Popovic from Stardog, with Johnson now moving up an extra position due to Andrew Taylor's stop-go penalty. There, in fact, Johnson's got past Keenan Stardog, it's saying now. So Johnson is ahead of Keenan Stardog. What's happened to Stardog there?
Not sure, but I know these two Mercedes are going to be very difficult for the Porsches to overtake. The Porsche probably the worst car in a straight line, as we've said this season, and the Mercedes is a very solid car in a straight line. So yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult for these two to overtake the Mercedes ahead of them.
It really is, so we'll keep our eyes on that. But at the moment, out front it is Sturrock who is your net leader, like we've said, from Popovic. Greaves is gaining, that's Privet who's off the circuit. Greaves is trying to gain on Flores, and Mirko Ricci there as well. You can see Gary just up the road, so Mirko Ricci will really want to get a move on with this. Sam Williams trying as best he can to get ahead of Sam Greaves. There's a big train forming behind. Good for Stapley and Malarex in this. They're ahead of Peckman. Broom is 5.5 seconds behind Peckman. He needs to be the one beating him for that bronze championship as well, let's not forget. But at the moment, you have to say, Gary Leach isn't sitting in a bad position, considering that his two closest rivals in Mirko Ricci is that's Malarex going up the inside of Stapley, couldn't get it done. Deep at the next corner, Tyler De Block goes side by side with him, should be through at this little chicane section of the Valencia circuit. They stick together side by side. Now Peckman might think of making this 3 wide. De Block is through. Good little move. Has the Porsche got the legs to stay ahead at the final corner of the McLaren? No, because he's going to come up the inside of Tyler De Block at the final corner. Shovels him a little bit wide, and off the track he goes. Now comes across to cover off Peckman. They're 3 wide nearly down the start straight. De Block tucks back into the slipstream. Malarex opens the middle of the track. Peckman gives De Block a lot of room, but De Block's not got the momentum out the final corner. So De Block's lost 2 places. Malarex trying to fend off that of Peckman, and Peckman on the inside through he goes. What does Tyler De Block do? He'll also be on that inside line for turn 2, and through he goes. What a bit of racing from the 3 of them there, and yeah, good job.
Yeah, great job from Peckman there, just to be patient, let the 2 in front of him fight it out, and then pick up the pieces. Now he's still under pressure from De Block anyway, and they're still going side by side onto this back half of the lap.
And De Block gets the 2 places back there then. So De Block back up to where he was before at the end of that lap. So a good little fight here down the bottom end of the order. Sam Williams still on the back of Hunt. Needs to try and close that gap. Sam Greaves is now off. So what has happened there? Mirko Ricci has now managed to get through. Does that allow Hunt and Williams through? Here goes Hunt up the inside of Greaves. Williams thinks about it as well. Is this going to allow Williams the opportunity to get the run out the corner? Yes, it does. He's on that inside line. He's ahead of Greaves, and through goes Sam Williams. So Sam moves up another spot. Now Hunt bounces off the curb into the gravel trap. Hunt goes, and Sam Williams gets through yet again. And all of a sudden, Sam Williams is now trying to hunt down that of Mirko Ricci, who's got 2.5 seconds to do so. In Gary Leach's way, up the road, gaining on Tan and Ebone, while Flores is holding up that of Mirko Ricci. Wolski, I believe, has just came out the pit lane. Did he stay ahead of Gary Leach? Yes, he did. So far for Gary Leach, his 2 closest rivals are behind him.
His 2 closest rivals are behind him, and he's not doing half bad in that BMW. And where Wolski came out right next to Tanner Kneebone, if these 2 start scrapping it out, it could open the door for Gary to pick up even more positions.
Could indeed. So let's wait and see what will happen in this race, because at the moment we've got a good little fight happening here. We've got Stardog gaining on the back of Johnson, who's on the back of Popovich, who's on the back of Sturrock himself. So a good 4-way fight for the lead. What an entertaining 15-minute race this has been, and I believe this is the final lap of it, Langley. 30 seconds left on the clock. We're only halfway around the circuit. And this is a fight for the race lead between 4 drivers, nearly with Wolski and Tanner Kneebone, and nearly Gary Leach as well.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute scrap to the end here. Can Popovich do anything about it? Going through the right-hander. They both keep it pretty clean. Is Popovich going to have a look on the final corner of the race? This will be the last lap. Sturrock defends the inside, but goes a little deep. Can Popovich get the run out the corner? He's going to be tucked under the Mercedes to the line.
Don't think he's going to. It looks like it's going to be Sturrock who's going to take another sprint win from that of Popovich. Johnson 3rd, Stardog 4th from Wolski in 5th. Tanner is P6 from Gary Leach 7th. Flores 8th from Mirko Ricci P9. Sam Williams gets P10 in this race and the fastest lap. Hunt from Greaves. Stapley wins in bronze from Tyler De Block. Peckman 2nd in bronze from Malarex. Neil Broom gained on the end at the end, but it was too little too late. He's down in 17th. Cherry Moore will be 18th. I'm noting that Mick Taylor as well once again hasn't done that pit stop, so that'll really cost him in this race. Tucker down in 19th. Taylor, without that pit stop completed, will probably lose out to Simcoe, Andrew Taylor and Dronelander in this one, as he hasn't completed his pit stop by adding that little 1 litre of fuel minimum. And then it is Simcoe, and then that of Andrew Taylor and Dronelander we just have to wait for. But what an opening race to the night that was. That was fantastic.
Absolutely side by side, not side by side, but nose to tail at the finish for the top 6. And just an unbelievable race that was. Hats off to Sturrock for holding on. And honestly, I didn't expect Sturrock to win this one, especially with how it looked like Popovich was about to take off. So hats off to Sturrock for squeaking this one out and picking up his 2nd sprint win of the season.
I think it's his 2nd sprint win in a row, because I think he won the sprint race last week as well. But that is race 1 in the bag. We'll try and get these audio issues sorted out. It's working for now, so I might have to have a look at it for tomorrow. But we'll be back in just a few moments. Don't go Welcome back then to SimPlay Motorsport. Good evening, Neil Broom in the chat. The championship standings look a little interesting to read at the moment. Gary Leach has a commanding lead, nearly 100 points over Sam Williams. Out of the 11 that could still win, it is only Keenan Starlog who can no longer win that Drivers' Championship. It is Gary Leach still leading the way from Sam Williams, Mirko Ricci, Wolski, Millington, Hunt, Nebo, Greaves, Argent, Johnson, Starlog, Flores, Gabino, De Block, Sturrock, Popovich, Williams, Craig, Bettison, Drolander, Taylor and Limiter. In bronze, we haven't lost a single driver from the running at the moment. It is Peckman, Broom, Stapley, Malarex, Cherrymore, Tucker, Privet, Taylor, Page, Simcoe and Rob Smith. And in the constructors, well, with Steve Millington not here for the first race, at least, he at SimPlay Racing have been caught, and they are just 209.5 points clear of 4Q Motorsports. They can bring that gap down tonight, even more in this second race. Forever Forward are third, a little bit further back, then it's Greasy Bandits. All four can still win this championship at the moment, and I think it's going to be a four-way fight going into Donington Park. Cloud9 a P5 cannot win it. Vanguard Race Team, Team GBR, Richie's Course Team, Team Merlo, FRL Racing Team, Balkan Simmel, Black and Blue Racing, Pager Racing Team, Billy Nomates, Mustang Alley Racing. So a good start to the night. Remember, drop scores are not taken anymore. They ended last week, so nobody can get a drop score anymore in this championship. It is now all about scoring as many points as you possibly can in this race here at Valencia and at Donington Park. So at the moment, it's going to be an interesting one to see what will happen here at Donington Park next time out. Here and at Donington Park next time out. So I was just reading a message there. We are, though, looking forward to Donington Park, the Donington Decider, where all three championships do look like they're going to be taken on. It is the bronze qualifying at the moment. The bronze drivers are out there qualifying so far. They get the first 10 minutes where the silver drivers will have to sit and wait for their time to go out onto the circuit. We saw last night in the GT4s that not a lot of times was improved on as they went through the session, so will be interesting to see what these drivers do over 10 minutes each. As here comes Cherrymore towards the line. He's the first one who is going to set a flying lap. Then will be Peckman just behind him, and Cherrymore must have invalidated somewhere. Peckman does not invalidate. We will go then to Mark Tucker in the background. We'll take a look at the standings a little further up the list. As we scroll up, we can see Stapley's already third, 8 seconds off his best time. Tucker didn't get a lap time on the board. What can Malarex do? Tricky track, Valencia, for track limits. People have got to be cautious in this second race. We saw a couple of drive-throughs last night for track limits being exceeded. Last time round, Malarex, I don't think, got a lap time on the board there. No, he did not. Neil Broom would love to get some more pace and try and get an extra couple of positions to gain on Peckman. All still in for this championship, but they really need to start to get these points nailed on here as he does cross the line. Privet is next, and we can take a look at the standings. So it is currently Broom, from Peckman, from Simcoe, from Privet, 2/10 separating the top three. Then it's Taylor, then Stapley. It will be once again then that of Cherrymore, who didn't get a lap time in, to get the first, to get his next time in. And you've got to hurry up, because it's not an overly long lap, but it is still pretty long. As Gareth Hans in the chat, good evening gents, just caught the end of the sprint race, looking forward to the main event. Indeed we are, and congratulations to you. No tickets went in on you, Gareth. Now I know the deadline is still open for another 3 hours for the tickets to be submitted, but as of now you are still that provisional bronze champion that we crowned last night in the Who Darren Cup, and Maiga the provisional silver champion. If no tickets go in on them two come midnight tonight, they will be confirmed as bronze and silver champion. Cherrymore improves on his lap time. He goes up the order. Peckman moves up into P1. There is Stapley now going into second place. Can Tucker get a lap time on the board? Crucial for him to try and get one on the board. He does. He goes P6. What about Malarex now coming towards the line? Has he got a lap time on the board? Yes, he does. He moves up into P6 himself at the moment. So 7/10 separating the top four in this session. Not as close as Imola last week. Here comes Neil Broom. Does he have anything left in the tank? He does. Goes second place. Mick Taylor next to the line. He's just exited the final corner. Was a little deep on the exit of the final corner there, so he's got some time to make up throughout this session. Down towards the timing line he goes. Does he improve? He does, and stays P9. Privet also improves and stays P8. Mirko Ricci, as you just saw his car moving there, has exited to get to the bottom of the pit lane. That is really early for him to be waiting down there. He's going to make his tyres really cold going out that early, but it's the driver's choice to when they line up at the exit of the pits. As we wait for Cherry Moore once again. Langley has just stepped away momentarily, so we hope to get him back anytime soon. And yeah, what a night it's been. What a night it was last night for Gareth Anderson, who took that great... he was provisionally that bronze champion after a great season. We do like to say, though, a big thanks to our sponsor for the series, for the whole entire series, Design Manchester, producers of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing, and much more, including SimPlay Motorsport merchandise. Head over to Design Manchester on Facebook or Instagram, as well as hit that thumbs up button if you like what you see here, the bell to be notified if you are new, and subscribe to the channel as well. We are 4 subscribers away from that 1.2k mark, so let's try and get as many subscribers by the end of this season. We've got this week and next week to do so. We'll be back tomorrow night, myself included, for the Pro Series. And we can't wait for that one as Neil Broom goes and does the fastest time of the session by 65 thousandths of a second. What a lap time that is. Peckman now has to nail a lap. We go back to Cherry Moore. In fact, no, the 63 was still on a lap. That's Privet. Let's check out Privet across the line. No improvement there. He does improve, sorry. Goes up to P7. Cherry Moore now, as Anderson says. Thanks, mate. Nice season for the Momentum Motorsport guys, if all stays the same. Indeed, it will be for you guys, as Peckman is gaining a little bit on Cherry Moore. Evening to Paul Williams. Just tuning in now for the feature. I hope it's been a good one so far. Cracking sprint race, dude. Shame you're not here to have been a part of that one, because it was a brilliant sprint race. But yeah, what a championship fight this could be going down to Donington Park. We could have several drivers in each category and 4 teams duking it out at Donington Park for championship honours as we come through now. The final corner for Cherry Moore. Peckman right behind him, maybe picking up a little bit of slipstream from him as well, that may put him back onto that provisional pole for the time being. A couple more cars queuing at the bottom of the pit lane, and there goes Peckman, goes and puts it back on pole by 2.5 tenths of a second. Here comes Simcoe. Can he find any more of an improvement? He does not. Stapley also doesn't improve. What about Tucker, as Taylor is done in qualifying? No, he is done. He's not going to get another lap in. Malarex P4 at the moment, and he will stay. He moves up to P2, so a good lap from him. Neil Broom now needs 300ths of a second to move up into second place. Can he find that? No, he cannot. So he's going to have one more chance to find it here. Privet is on an invalid lap, so let's go back down to Cherry Moore. But it's going to be hard, I think, for him to find that one. See what these guys can do. Cherry Moore has got Peckman hassling the back of him. In fact, Cherry Moore has bailed, so it will be down to Peckman now. Did that cost Peckman any time, though, on his lap? That's going to be the interesting answer. So Peckman rounds that final corner once again. Down towards the start line he goes. Has he got any more in the tank to find any more? No, he does not. He is done. What can Stapley do? As Simcoe is also done. They can get one more lap time in, those who are crossing the line at the moment. Cherry Moore gets one more in. Stapley can get one more in. I don't think Malarex will, who is currently second place. He might, you know. He actually will get one more lap in. So Malarex gets another lap in on the board and does get within touching distance of Peckman. But is he going to be done for the session? I think he might be, as the silver drivers now leave the pit lane. Here comes Neil Broom. He finds an improvement, but can't get close enough to take that pole position away. What about Privet? So there's there's 2 drivers still out on a lap. Cherry Moore and Stapley are still out there. Malarex came within touching distance of taking that lap time away from Peckman, but this could be an extra point to Peckman's championship that he crucially needs. Here comes Privet to the line, finds an improvement, but stays down in P8. Cherry Moore has returned to the pits, so it's all now down towards Stapley for what he can try and get out of this qualifying session. We are joined live back by Gray Langley, who's just adjusting himself and getting his headset on now. So I will ask him this question when he's sorted. But Stapley, the last bronze on a lap time at the moment. And Langley, looking at them lap times, I know you've just got back at the moment. Broome and Malarex within touching distance of Peckman.
Yeah, it's very good to see the bronze class close to each other, because that means they'll line up close to each other on the final grid. Stapley's going to have one more chance at it, though, out the final corner. Needs about a half a second, 4.5 tenths, if he wants to do anything, and he ducks in the pit lane.
Yeah, he just.
Yeah, it's very good to see the bronze class very tight these past couple weeks. In qualifying. I mean, Malarex and Peckman are going to, I mean, unless someone sneaks in that tiny little gap, they're most likely going to start right next to each other on the grid. And Neil Broome, championship protagonist, P2 in the bronze, right there in the mix.
Indeed he is. Can he get it in this session? So this is going to be an interesting one to find out what he can do. And yeah, looking forward to this. I think this is going to be a cracking fight. We've now got the silver drivers out there at the moment, and let's see what will happen in the silver qualifying.
I think Dronelander will be the first to set a lap here, if I'm not wrong, coming into the third sector now.
Yeah, you are correct.
Mirko Ricci following him right behind. And who's that right behind Mirko Ricci? Is that Mike? No, that is Michael Johnson right behind Mirko Ricci. So Michael Johnson might want to back off just a little bit, get himself some clean air. But here comes Dronelander through the final corner now, on his way to the line to set his first lap. What will it be compared to the bronze drivers that set a time so far? It will be nothing, because he invalidated his lap. Now Mirko Ricci crosses the line, goes P3, and that's very close, albeit only his first lap. And then Sam Williams, oh my goodness, they're all within a tenth of each other, this top four here. I expect it to change, but I didn't expect the gaps quite to be this tight this early.
Yeah, they never normally are they? It normally takes them a lap or two.
Oh my goodness!
To get within that.
Gary Lynch popped.
Wow.
Top 3.
Yeah, look at that. All
look at these gaps.
Less than a tenth of a second. And I didn't expect Gary Leach to be setting that lap time. Not in the BMW, I will admit that.
And yes, they are just the first laps, but still very good early on for the likes of Peckman, Malarex, and Neil Broome, honestly, still 6th after all the silver drivers set their first lap.
Haha, I have found the desktop audio, so now you're going to get just a double audio for a second. Let me change this one back to where it should be. There we go. I have sorted the audio situation. Believe it is there. Let me know if you can hear the game audio, as it is not moving anything on the slider for me. But let me know if you can hear that. I believe I have sorted it. So please let me know in the chat if you can hear that audio of the cars, and if it is too loud compared to me and Langley, I will turn that one down. But I believe I have sorted the issue, because the only reason I'm saying we don't know the level is the level bar isn't moving for it, so I can't actually see how loud the browser source is coming through. So let us know if you can hear the car audio.
The block goes fastest, a half a second from the rest of the field.
There we go, and so the block fastest by a half a second. And great to see that from Tyler.
Stardog P3. I said they were going to line up right next to each other, and then a car pops their name in between the two of them somehow, of that 17 millisecond gap. Stardog sets the exact same time as Peckman, P3 on the grid right now.
And yeah, the exact same time. I was just about to say, the lap time's still pretty close though. You look at that from De Block, great lap time. I've got a feeling we're going to see Sam Williams pop up there and Mirko Ricci. They was the quickest in the practice session, so worth keeping an eye on them. We're currently watching Diego Flores come round the final corner to finish his lap. Apologies for not changing cameras too much at the moment. I am trying to sort out these audio problems.
Mirko Ricci and Michael Johnson both caught up in traffic right now, and yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare. Oh my goodness.
Was that Sam Williams who then just got caught up in it?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Even if your lap gets ruined, you got to get out the way of other drivers, and I have to see that back. But that looks pretty much like a slam dunk, if you ask me.
That is crazy. What actually happened there? Because I just changed on to Dronelander. He was around. Richie was in the gravel. What actually happened?
Mirko Ricci was behind Dronelander, and Johnson was behind Mirko Ricci. None of them wanting to back off their laps, so they're nose to tail. I think Mirko Ricci hit Dronelander, who then ended up spinning on his own. And then instead of getting out the way, he just kind of watched the rest of the incident happen.
Please, in the chat, if you are there, good evening to Richard Betson. Please let us know if you can hear that game audio so that I can get the levels correct, because the sliding bar that tells me how loud it's coming through. Yes, you can. Cheers, Beto. Let me know if it's too quiet or not for me and Langley, or if it's too loud over me and Langley, and we'll get that one sorted. So, a bit of a kerfuffle there. In the at the front of the grid. Dronelander now off once again. He's not set a lap time yet, and he's back in the pit lane. Johnson also hasn't set a lap time. So these drivers just struggling to get a lap time in, but it is De Block from Stardog. Gary Leach, I think he's out driving that BMW. Wolski had a good first race, but Gary didn't seem to have the pace. So at the moment, Gary Leach for me is out driving that BMW car, and fair play to him at the moment.
Yeah, if he can hold on to that position, it bodes well for his championship. Sam Williams has looked really quick, though, as he goes into this third sector now. No Lamborghini, no Ferrari in the way this time. So it looks like a clean lap for Sam. We'll see what it is on the timesheets. I think that's Tanner Nebone following him right behind him as well.
Indeed, it might be. So we're currently watching that of Gary Leach as Sam Williams has just crossed the line. And Sam Williams, there we go, tops the timing tower. His teammate Andrew Taylor's about to come across the line. He goes 15th place. What can Tyler De Block do a little further back? Does he improve? Not quite sure. What about Gary Leach? He stays, in fact, he drops down to P5 because Popovic right behind him moves up into third place. And good qualifying at the moment, really tight one. And there you go, Peckman and Malarek side by side on the grid at the moment. So they are still together. Mirko Ricci down in 9th. I expected him up there a little bit more, but he's not. Tanner struggling, Greaves struggling, Hunt down in 17th. So a lot of cars out there at the moment struggling to get a lap time in on the board. Or a respectable lap time in on the board, should I say.
Yeah, it looks like Mirko Ricci can't get out of the traffic. Right now, as you see, there's a gaggle of cars on track in the middle sector right now, and it just seems like Mirko Ricci cannot get into a gap where he's by himself pushing his Lamborghini to the limits, always having some cars around him at the moment. Good lap from Tyler De Block. We know he has pace. It's just his consistency and honestly his retirements on the day of the race that hold him back most of the time.
Audio sounds perfect, we're being told, so that's great to hear. So that means we can just carry on now and I don't have to mess around with anything else. Right, next car on a lap is that of Tanner Nebone as Sam Williams invalidated his last run. Last laps for these drivers now, so it's crucial to make sure you get that good lap time in on the board. The 107 of Wolski will be the next to cross the line after Tanner, who moves up to P11, can get one more time in. Here goes Wolski at the moment. De Block just behind him. Wolski stays 6th. De Block stays in 2nd. What can Mirko Ricci do? Keep your eyes on him just down the order. He moves up to P1, so he's got a good lap time on the board and has gone 89 thousandths of a second quicker than Sam Williams, and that could be crucial because they're only separated by a 1.5 in this in the championship at the moment. The 96 of Sam Greaves is now coming towards the line, gets one last lap in at the very end. He moves up into P5. So Sam Greaves, good lap from him, and he won't get another lap in. He is done for qualifying in this session.
I think this would be Mirko Ricci's first pole position since the opening round of the season, if he holds on to it.
I think you might be right there, yeah.
Well, keep an eye on Sam here. Has not invalidated his lap. He's really close to his previous best time at the moment. Lost a little bit through that corner, so he'll have to make it up in this final sector here if he wants any chance at a pole position.
Diego Flores moves up to P6. He is now done. This is just pushing Gary Leach down the order even more. I can't see who that car is coming across the line with Dronelander to be done. It was Michael Johnson down in 17th. Here comes Sam Williams, though. Has he got the lap time to put together? Has he been able to do it to take pole position? No, he does not. What can Tan and Ebone do then? He moves, stays P12, so doesn't improve. Can Wolski get ahead of Gary Leach? Crucial for the championship. Yes, he can. What about Mirko Ricci? Did he extend his pole? He extended it a little bit. Qualifying done. Mirko Ricci on pole position.
Mirko Ricci on pole position. The battle to look out for: Sam Williams in second, Gary Leach down in ninth. If Gary can get away cleanly, remember, no more drop scores. So if you get in an incident, it is absolutely game-changing at this point in the championship.
Indeed it is, and that is crucial for Mirko Ricci as well in this championship fight that he has. And you're right, that is the Lamborghini's second pole position of the season here in Pro 1. So what a night for Mirko Ricci there. It was really well done in qualifying. He's now got to convert this one though, Langley, because him and Sam Williams have really got to stay ahead of Gary Leach. Crucial now to score big over Gary Leach, bring that points gap back down even more to get closer to him as this championship is coming to its climax next time out at Donington Park. So really is crucial.
That, and we know they've had their run-ins this season as well, so can they stay out the way of each other? Sam's pretty conservative on race starts, and he's got two pretty aggressive drivers, or three aggressive drivers around him right now. I'd say keep an eye out for Tyler DeBlock and Popovich on this race start. Because the way turn one is profiled, it's very quick. If you get a tap on the rear, it is very difficult to catch, and could send you spinning to the outside wall.
Yeah, it could indeed. So let's see what is going to happen in this qualifying session then, because it's going to be crucial for these drivers to make sure they get everything absolutely bang on and correct. But your grid order then for this final race of the night: Mirko Ricci alongside Sam Williams, Tyler DeBlock from Popovich, Greaves from Flores, Wolski from Stardog, Leach from Peckman, your bronze pole sitter, Malarex from Nebo, with Broom from Sturrock, Stapley from Taylor, Andrew Taylor that is, Johnson and then Hunt down in 18th, poor qualifying for him, Cherry Moore from Simcoe, Tucker from Privet, Dronelander from Taylor at the back. Who's your money on in this one, Langley?
Ooh, tough. Not a BMW. Actually, that's very impressive from Sam Greaves to be the leading BMW in this session. We've seen Gary, obviously championship leader. Tanner's won a race this season and dominated a couple others before internet issues. Wolski's had a few podiums. So for Sam to be up there P5 in that BMW, very good performance from himself. And I'm going to stick with my gut and say the mid-engine cars are going to profit over the course of a race distance.
Well, let's see if
and I'm going to... it's someone in the top three. I'm just trying to see who I want to jinx the most. So, I'll go with... I'll go with Tyler DeBlock. I think he could. He has not had a feature race win this season. So, yeah, no championship implications if I do jinx him.
That's very nice of you to not ruin the championship. That is rather nice of you. We'll see what happens in this session then. Coming up, the final race of the night. Remembering that Donington Park will decide the championships next week. It's going to be crucial. And this is going to be an interesting one to see what will happen in this session at the moment. As this could really play.
Go on, Matt. Who's your money on?
Oh, who's my money on? Apologies, I forgot to tell you who my money's on. My money is on... I'm gonna have to say it. I'm gonna have to say Mirko Ricci. I'm gonna have to. I can't see a way in which Mirko doesn't win this race.
You're turning your back on your fellow Welshman, I see.
I'm not turning my back on Sam. Love Sam.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
But,
I'm joking.
I know. We'll just see what happens. Let's as we're getting ready to go here for the final time this evening. It is green and go at Valencia. Everybody gets away nice and cleanly. No stop-go penalties or drive-throughs for being out of position at the start. Mirko Ricci already has the jump over that of Sam Williams. Watch out for Popovic, though, as he's got Greaves on that inside line of him. So as to block. They come through turn one, very wide through there, which he can be. They're all filtering through. Some are 3 or 4 back wide down the bottom end of the grid. Gary closes the door on Tan and Ebone pretty late, but gets the door shut. Peckman had a good launch because Peckman got ahead of Gary Leach. So has Gary gone backwards or has Peckman just had a great start? I'm trying to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for Gary. Yes, he's dropped 1 spot, but that is only to Keenan Stardog at the moment. Popovic still trying to go side by side through. Further down the field, we've got a few more movers and shakers. Dronelander trying to get onto the back of Privet, but up front, good clean start. Sam Greaves in a wall.
Greaves. That was all his own doing, and he spun back across the track. No contact involved. Such a shame for someone who put his BMW in a great spot to start this race. And now Gary Leach right behind Wolski, and that'll be another position for him. P7 now, I believe.
Just as Beto's put in the chat, Mr. Greaves win. Bit tough from there, won't it now? But yeah, Gary Leach up another place. That'll probably put Sam Greaves out of this championship running with Kieran Argent now without scoring. If he doesn't outscore Gary Leach, Gary's now got to have a monumental error somewhere to have this one not go his way. Well, he's up in 6th, and Tan and Ebone, as Paul Williams has just said, Greaves for the win. So it's obviously not happened on stream for them yet. Due to the slight delay, so it'll be coming their way, I reckon, unless they're just saying it to mimic him. Now he's sat in the pit lane. Johnson looking to make up another couple of positions in the background. He's going side by side. Can't quite tell who that's with at the moment. It's with Stapley. Tucks back in behind. Further forward, though, Andrew Taylor looked to look up the inside of Malarex. Malarex very, very wide. Did Johnson get the run on Stapley? Yes, he did. But Cherry Moore got the run on the pair of them, and he's up the inside of both. 3 wide into turn 2. Stapley takes a wide berth. Johnson backs out of it. And has Cherry Moore got the job done? Not quite. Whoa, nearly contact between the two of them there.
Very, very good racing between the two of them there. And yeah, some nail-biting stuff early on in this one.
Really is. It's really been an epic start to this race. At the moment, Sam Greaves in the pits with that damage that he sustained midway through the lap. 23. Who is the 23? That is Tucker, who is well off the back of the field at the moment. As here goes Johnson tucking underneath. Sturrock having a look into the hairpin. Can't do so. And nearly got not Sturrock, Cherry Moore. Further forward, though, Neil Broom and Simcoe are having a good little fight. Hunt on the back of Taylor. He's trying to gain on Stardog. What's happened to Stardog? He's dropped down the order a little bit. They'll come through Sector 2, and Stardog's dropped down to P12. So that's not going to be good. He's already out the running for the championship now, but for the Constructors' Championship, he'd love to score big to try and get as close to SimPlay Racing as they possibly can. Same for 4Q, but with Sam Greaves in the pits, it's going to be hard to do.
It's going to be hard to do. And then that is Mike Hunt looking up the inside of Andy Taylor. Andy was looking up the inside of Stardog into that last corner and backed out of it, but then left the door open for Hunt, but gets the drive out the corners, and they all stay put the way they are. And yeah, big scrap ahead as well with Sam Williams and Wolski going side by side. I think Popovic just got by Williams.
I was just watching this one while he was telling us what was happening with Hunt, and Williams was looking around the outside of the block, couldn't get it to stick. That allowed Popovic to have the run on the inside line into turn 2, and he got the move done. And Popovic now might have the move done on Tyler de Block here. Side by side they go. Popovic could be one to watch for this race here, you know, because Mirko Ricci, yes, he's up the road, but so far Popovic could be someone to watch. Sam Williams with an almighty dive, can't get alongside Tyler de Block, and Popovic now up into second place. Wolski has a big wiggle out the hairpin corner. That's put Gary Leach on the back of him. If you're Sam, Wolski and Richie, you're all outscoring Gary Leach at the moment, which is crucial. But if you're Tannen Ebone, Hunt, Greaves and Johnson, you are not. So that could put you out the running for this championship. But so far, good little race here in this second race of the evening. What a start to it. Stardog pulling away from Andrew Taylor now, who's still got Hunt behind him. Greaves has come back out the pits, 2 laps down. But you never know what will happen in a race. He could gain a few places as it goes on, as Cherry Moore has a wiggle coming out the corner there and yields to let Privet and Dronelander through just then. But Sam, close to the back of Tyler de Block again, and Wolski into the back of Sam. Sam manages somehow to hang on to that one, and this has allowed Gary Leach to have a look up the inside of Wolski. Wolski through on Sam. Sam taps him back. They're now 3 wide going in towards turn 3. What a scrappy race this is turning out to be. Wolski has a snap. Off he goes. Has he held it together? Yes, he has. Will he lose out to Gary Leach? No, he doesn't.
That's an unsafe rejoin.
Oh, my
straight
goodness. Into the middle, at the turning of the corner. He gets tapped around. Gary and Sam are through. But for Sam, he's behind now. Gary Leach, Langley.
I've been a fan of Wolski most times, and usually has a great drive for a podium. But that first half of the lap, that was really poor. He tapped the back of Sam. Should have conceded the position to Gary and Sam because of the tap, and then he loses it by himself, and then rejoins immediately. And I was just not on from him on that particular instance. But now this will give us a battle between 2 championship rivals right now, Sam Williams and Gary Leach. Gary has a little snap out that right-hander. I do think the McLaren is the better car than the BMW. Gary was just playing it very patient and still got caught up in some mayhem.
Class in the chat says great rejoin. I don't know if that's sarcasm or what.
It is sarcasm.
I hope it is. I know Class is obviously one of the Greasy Bandits drivers on the Pro Night, but yeah, it's a little paw from Wolski there as Gary Leach now tries to stay ahead of Sam. Wolski looking to get back on Flores. Tannen Ebone's right behind Wolski, so he's back into play for a couple of points. We've then got Stardog, who was closer to Sturrock a moment ago. Sturrock's pulled a little bit further. Taylor then on Hunt. That's opened up a little bit more, and that's allowed Broom to get onto the back of Hunt here, bringing Stapley with him. Then it's Simcoe with Johnson, Privet, Dronelander, Taylor, Tucker, Cherry Moore struggling out there at the moment, and Sam Greaves, who is a couple of laps down. But Wolski on the... In fact, no, he's not anymore. He's ahead of Flores. So Wolski's got ahead of Diego Flores. Tannen Ebone may fancy a look anytime soon. And Sam Williams trying to put that pressure on Gary Leach once more, coming up towards the hairpin.
Yeah, we'll see if Sam's able to do anything. He is very quick when he gets his car into clean air, and he looks much quicker than Gary Leach right now. We'll see if he has to look up the inside this corner. Nope, Gary defends it very nicely. Sam takes the wider line, tries to do the up and under. Can't do it now, but he's just tucked right up under that BMW. Needs a clean run through the right-hander here. A little bit of a slide, but nice and clean overall. Tuck the left-hand side of the track coming down to the final corner. Gary parks his car in the middle of the track. Very good so far from Gary defending, but that BMW looks loose all over the place. Big wiggles out of the final corner. Let Sam get his nose up the inside. That BMW, though, looks to have the advantage in a straight line over the McLaren and will hold the lead into turn 1.
That is crazy, the straight line speed from the BMW over the McLaren there. Tannen Ebone on the back of Flores, with Flores on the back of Wolski. Then there's Peckman, Malarek, Sturrock, Stardog, and Andrew Taylor all for company as well. Hunt losing out to Taylor now. He's got Broom closer to the back of him. Cherry Moore's in the pits. Privet was all over the back of Dronelander. It's just opened up slightly, but Privet still close enough to keep mounting an attack at the moment. Michael Johnson trying to gain on the back of Simcoe. And Stapley and Broom, that's for third place in bronze, so keep your eyes on that one as well at the moment. But Tannen Ebone cannot find a way past Diego Flores, and that is giving the likes of Peckman and Malarek the chance. And what a queue here behind Diego Flores. He really is the cork in the bottle at the moment. Nobody can pass him, and the cars keep piling up behind him.
Yeah, and it's causing a concertina effect down the rest of that pack. And although they are fighting, they're not losing a ton of time uh, to the likes of Gary Leach and Sam Williams ahead. But yeah, it's going to cause some crazy battles in this pack.
Cherry Moore has retired from this race. I will not say for the reasons why, but he did alert to me something earlier in the day. So Cherry Moore has retired from this race, which is totally understandable. And I've just seen a yellow flag. And Mirko Ricci is into the pit lane, is he? No, he's not. Has he had a spin that put him in the pit lane, though? Because my camera went straight to pit lane. Simcoe drive through for track limits. What is going on with Mirko? That seems to be a wheel problem. Is that a wheel disconnect?
I'll find out for you in a second.
That puts Gary Leach up into fourth. It puts it puts Gary into third, Sam Williams up into fourth, and all of a sudden, Gary's two closest rivals he's back ahead of once again, and Mirko Ricci could be out. Maybe not of the championship running at the moment, but definitely further behind today. Great two-wheel track. Makes for spicy four-wheel racing, says Paul Williams. Indeed, it does. Class saying also pretty harsh track on tyres. Indeed, it is. 32 degrees track temp, Langley. Tyres around here are going to take a battering. Mirko still is not moving at the moment.
He just didn't accelerate out the final corner. Then got going on the main straight where we picked it up. I'm still watching it. It all looked quite weird. He doesn't have damage, so not.
Oh, sorry, Langley.
Sure.
Diego Flores has just lost it through the chicane. Tananebo now has Peckman looking up the inside of him. Can Peckman get the job done? Yes, he can. And also through goes Malarex. Makes contact with Tanner. Malarex, spins back across the track into the path of Stardog. Andrew Taylor has to avoid Stardog there, and he gets ahead of him. And Flores now behind Stardog. It is all kicking off at Valencia. What a shame.
Sam has a run on Gary out of turn one, up the inside into turn two, and has it done, but Gary tries to tuck back under. Nothing doing right there. Sam up and past Gary back into the podium positions. Gary has a big wiggle in the middle part of that corner and holds on to it there, but struggling in his BMW today.
He really is, and that's crucial for Sam. We've also had Sturrock, who's had a spin. Mirko Ricci has returned to the pit lane. So all of a sudden, if you're Sam Greaves, you've gained a spot because Cherry Moore has retired. And now Mirko Ricci could be in the pits for a while. That could also bring you back into play over Mirko. Couple more points. Yes, it might not keep you in this championship hunt. Simcoe, by the way, must have got his stop-go penalty, his drive-through penalty at the last corner because he's got to serve it this lap, or it will be disqualification. I believe the game does. It's not drive-through to stop-go, is it? It's drive-through to disqualified, isn't it? If you don't serve your drive-through penalty, so Simcoe has to serve his drive-through this lap, otherwise that is his day done. And what a crazy race at the moment. Gary hasn't given this one up, though, 4/10 of a second behind. And he'll try and fight this one. Stardog as well, trying to get past Ada Diego Flores, who is once again off. This has turned all of a sudden into an absolutely bonkers race here, Langley. And drivers just making their own mistakes everywhere. The position changes every single lap at the moment. What a bonkers race.
Yeah, and then wheel disconnects as well. Yeah. And Simcoe does dip into the pit lane to serve his drive-through. That's absolutely insane so far. And Peckman, again, up there in P6 in the bronze class. I mean, he'll be silver next year. We know this. But, man, it is just so impressive how he manages to keep his nose clean and finds himself around the front runners week in, week out recently.
We've also got a battle for the lead now between Popovic and De Block. 4/10 of a second. Them two are separated by. Sam Williams is 4.6 seconds behind them. And has Simcoe just left the server? I believe he has, Can't see him. Yeah, it's not letting me press him. Simcoe has retired from this race after coming in for his drive-through. So that gives Sam Greaves, yet again, an extra position there. So, yeah, unlucky for him.
Yeah, I just saw Diego Flores a bit deep into that corner. So it's going to allow Hunt to creep back onto the back of him. And, yeah, this train right here, Stardog, Flores, Hunt, Broom, Stapley, all pretty big implications. Stapley looks really close to Broom here, coming into the last couple corners. But as I say that, Stapley runs really wide, leaves the door open for Johnson, who puts his Porsche up another place, and now he'll set his sights on Neil Broom ahead.
He will indeed. So Johnson through. That's crucial for him to try and stay in this championship hunt. He needs to outscore, though, Gary Leach. And at the moment, he is not. So what a shame for him in this race. But long way to go. Still 45 minutes left, Langley, yet. So really crucial.
Yeah, and Flores just a little wide out turn one. Hunt trying to look up the inside with a nose. Flores defends it quite well and keeps ahead in the first sector.
He does indeed, so we'll keep our eyes on what happens in this one at the moment. But so far, great little scrap. And look at this queue that Johnson's found himself in all of a sudden as well. Neil Broom, Hunt, Flores, and... no, sorry, it is just Flores. Stardog's further up the road. But Flores, really the cork in the bottle here at the moment. Mirko Ricci hasn't
Neil Broom
yet.
Neil Broom a bit wide there in the braking zone, and that puts Johnson up another position in his Porsche. Next up the road is Mike Hunt, and he's being held up a little bit by Diego Flores here. Like you said, the cork in the bottle effect has been happening, and will that help Johnson help get by the BMW? He's going to have to do it at one of these corners in the middle sector or an unconventional spot where he gets a good run out the corner, because the BMW will definitely have the straight line advantage.
Indeed, it will. So we'll keep our eyes on this.
Diego Flores, a bit slow, heading down into the penultimate corner, defends the inside, and it parks it in the middle of the track. Does a very good job of that, but now that leaves the door open for Michael Johnson. I don't think the Porsche will have the legs to get ahead of the BMW this straight, but the BMW in the slipstream of that Aston Martin might have the legs to get ahead of the Aston Martin into turn one. No. Flores shuts the door into turn one for now.
He does indeed. So can Johnson get ahead here? And I've just had a look at the fuel, Langley, and there's a lot of different strategies out there. I've just messaged you an interesting one at the moment. That is pretty interesting to take a read at, a look at when you consider that to everybody else's fuel. But the lap times was more what I was looking at. And if you're Sam Williams, you are a couple of tenths quicker than Popovich and De Block. You've got to really capitalise on that and get as close as you can before that pit stop.
Well, if you're Sam Williams and you're looking up ahead, and I don't know about you, Matt, but I see a 2/10 gap, and I'm like, ooh, yeah. I want them to start fighting. And then that could make things really spicy, let them close in just a little bit more. And, yeah, it looks like Mirko Ricci, I think it probably was some sort of wheel issue, so good on him getting going again. He's actually set the fastest lap of the race, so that's pretty heartbreaking. Yeah. For him in this one, leading pole position and leading up until that point.
Wolski now on the back of Gary Leach. That's 0.4 of a second. And he's brought Peckman with him. So Peckman closing in on Gary Leach, as is Wolski at the moment. And that is going to be huge for Wolski in this championship. By the way, this will be huge for Peckman. Look at the cars between himself and Neil Broom, his closest championship rival, to really try and end that bronze championship as soon as he can. Again, I don't think it will be tonight, but it could be as early as race one next week at the moment. But wow, so far so good. If you're if you're Wolski, if you're Peckman, with so
something's happened first turn. Mike Hunt is off at turn one. So what has happened there? That lets Michael Johnson get through, but Flores. The likes of Stapley and Neil Broom are right there, side by side behind him, and Neil Broom. I think he was already ahead of Stapley.
He was. It's Flores who's dropped behind the pack as well, Langley. So Flores was on the back of that pack who was leading this train of cars. So I wonder if him and Hunt have had a coming together because he's now at the back of this set of cars as well. So interesting to see if something has happened there between them. But that puts Neil Broom up another 2 places, brings him a little closer to Peckman. And
Wolski's all over the back of Gary Leach here. And yeah, I think you were about to say Sam Williams, fastest lap. Yeah. He is absolutely mowing this gap down to the top 2 right now. So he is not. He's saying this championship's not over yet. Gary Leach on the verge of losing possibly 2 positions, and then Sam has his eyes set on a race win. Could make things also spicy and also tight going into the Donington decider.
It really could. We'll keep our eyes on this points gap. Sam would love to win this race and Gary finish about 6th or 7th. That'll be a huge points haul for him. As here comes... Oh, no. Oh, Langers, why did I say it? As here comes Wolski then to have a look up the inside of Gary Leach in towards turn number 2. Gary turns in. There's Wolski on the inside line. Wolski, whoa, huge slide out the corner. Gary stays wide. Peckman nearly gets through. Wolski again with another slide. These BMWs look very unstable around here.
Very hot conditions as well. It's just not it with the front engine cars tonight, unless your name's Popovich, obviously. But even then, it looks like he's starting to struggle on his tires.
Oh,
and
no,
as
Gary.
I say that, yeah.
Gary Leach has just had a big slide. Sorry, Langley. Gary Leach has just had a huge slide once again. Wolski's now back on the outside. Peckman can't get through the pair of these dancing BMWs at the moment. And Gary stays ahead.
As you say that, De Block takes the lead around the outside, going into the 3rd sector. That's what I was about to say. De Block stuck his nose up the inside. And now... Popovich trying to come back at the block, but look who has come to join the party. Sam Williams rocking up just a half a second or so behind this Tyler De Block and Popovich coming on to the main straight now. Wow, this championship, this race turning on its head. The Mercedes seems to have the straight line over the McLaren, absolutely using that Mercedes power down the front straight and absolutely towing by the McLaren of Tyler De Block back into the lead of turn 1, but all 3 of them are wide at turn 1. Sam Williams backs out of it, trying to avoid the warning system in this game, but oh my goodness, Matt, everywhere you look on track right now, and looking back to Gary, Wolski back up the inside.
Oh, and again, he just slides mid-corner and can't get the power down. He has got past Gary Leach. But what is this Valencia race? It has turned into an absolute pantomime here. What a dramatic series of events we're seeing out on this track at the moment. Valentino Rossi, I'm sure, would be absolutely proud to see this one if he was here today. He's obviously painted on the wall at the end of the entry of the pit lane. He'd be loving this racing action at the moment. 3 for the lead, 3 for 4th. And 3 for 7th place behind these, because Tanner Kneebone's got Taylor and Stardog gaining on him. Now all of a sudden, De Block can't stick with Popovich, and he's coming under pressure from Williams. Gary trying to get back at Wolski, but he's got Peckman there. Taylor trying to pass Kneebone with Stardog in position as well. Neil Broom in the pits. Hunt still going around at the moment. He's trying to get onto the back of Drone Lander. Absolutely crazy race out there at the moment. This is brilliant entertainment.
Yeah, now Sam's all over the back of the block, and he's looking up the inside at the final corner. Could this be another position for Sam? Gives him a little hip check out the final corner, and that's up another position for Sam, who now sets his sights on the race leader,
Wolski's
Popovich.
wide. Wolski's wide at the final corner. Sorry, Langley. And this is going to allow Gary Leach through. Peckman is in Gary Leach's slipstream. Now pulls into Wolski's. And what is going on here at Valencia? Drama all around. Here goes Peckman looking on Wolski. Backs out of it at turn 1. Oh my days, this is fantastic racing here at Valencia, the circuit. Riccardo Tormo.
Oh.
Leach and Wolski hit each other. That does not open the door for Peckman, sadly for him. But they're all coming together. This is mega at the moment.
Oh my goodness, they are leaving no inch out there for anybody. Leach wide again at that corner, opens the door for Wolski, and will Peckman be able to follow him through? They're going side by side into the beginning of the 2nd sector again. Gary deeper on the brakes. Peckman has to check up because Wolski had to back out. But here we go again into the hairpin.
And all of a sudden, Tanner Kneebone might be staring down the back of these 3 in a moment. Flores is a lap car who's gaining on these 3 as well, just in the background, as Gary's wide because Wolski had a nose up the inside. He left Wolski in the room through the double left-hander, now into the double rights. Wolski, big twitch, big wiggle, off he goes, and rejoins as Peckman gets through. So Peckman moves up into P5. And the fight's not finished yet. Meanwhile, Sam Williams has got the gap down to 0.7 of a second to Popovich.
Wolski's really wide, and he spit. No, he does not spin. He very well holds on to it and saves it and rejoins.
Tanner
much safer than he did earlier.
Tanner's got past him, though, so he has lost that extra position to Tanner Kneebone now. Oh, my days, what a race we're seeing here at the circuit. Riccardo Tormo here in Valencia as Flores moves out the way. Tyres on these BMWs must be dying here. They are all over the place at the moment. Cloudin in the chat as well as Mackenzie. Mackenzie saying, what have I missed? Popovic doing mega defending like yesterday. And Cloudin saying, let's go Williams. Well, let's go Williams indeed, because about 5 laps ago, Langley, he was 4.7 seconds off the back of De Block for second place.
Oh my gosh, Sam had a massive moment out that corner. Tires are getting hot today. It's getting nice and slick around here and slidey. And I don't think it matters what car you're in right now. It's just if you can hold on to it. Peckman, only 2/10 off of Gary, is the bronze leader at this point. And he's putting Gary under some pressure here. Crazy. Bronze championship leader versus overall championship leader.
Crazy at the moment. And Jamal, you're a McLaren driver. What will the McLaren be feeling in these kind of temperatures at Valencia tonight? You know it a bit better than us, so let us know in the chat. And if anybody drives a BMW, please tell us in the chat what that'll be feeling like around here. But look, De Block all of a sudden still with Williams. Williams still within 6/10 of Popovic. Then you've got this Leach and Peckman fight. Tanner's only got Wolski at a second. Taylor's within 8/10 of Wolski down for 7th and 8th. Johnson's a bit further back. He's got Stapley gaining on him as Johnson just picks up a drive-through penalty.
Gary's wide. Gary's wide. Gary was wide at that fast right-hander, and he's lost a couple of positions.
He's behind Taylor.
To Peckman, he's lost to Nebo, Wolski, and Andy Taylor.
Had a huge moment out the final corner there. Got it all squirrely. Somehow hangs onto it. 2 out of the top 3 are in the pits. Popovic and De Block in for their stops. Oh my days, this is getting entertaining here. Sturrock, yellow flag in that middle sector. He's got back going now. But what is happening out here? Drivers making their own mistakes and tripping up one another.
Nothing is given in this championship, and you're going to have to fight to the bitter end if you want it, and it is proving to be an absolute challenge out there right now.
It's a dogfight is what it is. It's an absolute dogfight out there. Against yourself, though, to try and keep it on the circuit. Drive-through cleared for Michael Johnson. Oh, my days, we might need to catch our breath in a moment because this is a great race so far. Tan and Ebone has got Wolski gaining on the back of him now. So the Greasy Bandits versus Forever Forward. The solo Forever Forward tonight. No Kieran Argent here. This is crucial for that Constructors' Championship battle. 3rd and 4th they're in. Both still in with contention of winning the championship. Jamal in the chat saying McLaren is strong. Indeed it is. As Peckman a little too deep. That's brought Tanner onto the back of Peckman now. And all that is just... We can't keep up with how many changes there's been so far tonight. We're not even halfway through the race. And it has been epic so far. More overtakes than a Formula 1 race.
You mean a Mario Kart race?
I was talking more last year, you know. These are more generic overtakes. Peckman pits from 2nd place. Peckman comes in, leader of bronze, into the pit lane. Gary Leach was within 9/10 of Andrew Taylor. That gap looks huge. It is 1.8, so he's lost double that time at the moment. Class says leaders pitted. Indeed, they did. Vasic in the chat. Pop the pit king. Don't forget that. Well, where is Popovic? He can't be the pit king because he's come out behind Tyler De Block and has got Tucker in between them. So Tyler De Block is your net race leader here.
Yeah, and he has quite some margin. 5 seconds or so. I wonder if De Block didn't take tires. That would really surprise me, considering how hot the temperatures have been. Yeah, De Block's about 3 seconds ahead of Popovic, but remember, De Block was a couple seconds behind Popovic going into the pits. So that 5 seconds, it kind of equates
Michael Johnson and Hunt, Langley, have just had a disconnection. They've both just got back in the lobby, so that's ruined their race. For 4Q, could have really closed the gap on SimPlay tonight with no Steve Millington. That has put them well down the order for them two. And Johnson, well, he's out the championship. Tanner's wide. Here goes Wolski up the inside. Andrew Taylor's getting a watching brief for this. Tanner gets the better exit. And if these two come together, Andrew Taylor sat in the pound seat at the moment. Sam Williams, though, doesn't pit this time around, so he's still going as we approach half distance. What an epic race this has turned out to be. Just quietens down now that the pit stops are being completed.
Well, yeah, I think Sam wants a little breather as well. That's why he's staying out. He's trying to catch his breath as well after all that's happened right in front of him. And it's been absolute chaos out here tonight, and no one can seem to keep their car under control, sliding each and everywhere you look.
Indeed they are. Still watching this Wolski-Kneebone fight at the moment. Andrew Taylor got within a second of Wolski, and Gary just over a second to Andrew Taylor. So just starting to become a four-way fight in a few moments' time, you'd imagine. Couple of drivers in the pit lane. Still that top 8 with Mark Tucker in 10th. Hasn't pitted yet. And these two are sat second, third, fourth and fifth. Andrew Taylor just drops out that second mark. Gary drops back another 2/10 as well. So the BMW's better through that middle sector this lap. Sturrock into the pit lane, and oh my, what an absolutely awesome fight we've had here tonight.
Yeah, and it's been a really good race for Andrew Taylor here, especially after what happened in race 1. Might have been on for a podium in race 1 if it wasn't for his stop-go. So good response here in race 2, and yeah, Wolski's still breathing down the neck of Tanner. I'm sure Tanner's gotten used to being put under pressure from some BMWs the past couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure he has. Jamal saying in the chat, in all fairness, I love this track, the flow of it. Plus, it's a high downforce track, perfect for the McLaren. As Wolski into the pits, and I believe Gary Leach just came in behind as well. Yes, he did. So them two are in. Sturrock also into the pits. So not many fights to talk about at the moment, but Sam Williams is leading this race from Tanner Kneebone, from Andrew Taylor. Your net leader, though, could be that of Tyler de Block at the moment. Vasic saying, as I mentioned it, he has missed his pit box every time. Class, I hate the first turn, always manage to get track limits there, and then the whole lap is invalid. So that'll be interesting tomorrow night. Class has got some points to gain over Harris in this championship fight. But, oh man, what a night's worth of racing we've already seen here and witnessed at Valencia. Been a great night. It was great in the Who Darren Cup, race 2 especially, and tonight hasn't disappointed. We had almost 5 cars for the lead on the final lap in race number 1, and it's been dramatic here in race number 2. Wolski and Gary still in the pits. They've been overtaken by de Block. They are going to get overtaken by Popovic. Where's Peckman? Because they was both fighting Peckman in the pit stops. Wolski has dropped Gary Leach. Has Wolski taken tyres?
Oh my goodness. Tires or not, that is some gap either way.
Well, yeah, but if Wolski hasn't taken tyres, they're going to be screaming at the end of this race.
Maybe, but even so, Gary Leach is way more than 5 seconds behind Wolski.
Yeah, he is.
Way more.
Yeah, you're right. We'll see what the time is. It is the car behind Wolski, isn't he? That is one of the 4Q cars just in between them as they come through the sector time. What will Gary be behind? No, he's got Stardog actually in between him, so he's been jumped from Stardog. And where's Stardog? Stardog's a good couple of seconds up the road as well. Gary is... Oh, yeah, that's a huge amount of time for Gary Leach here. So, closest fight with Taylor and Malarex in the pits is Peckman, once again chasing down that of Wolski in this race. Oh, jeez, what a night this has been so far. 28 minutes left of the action. Sam Williams still leads, hasn't yet pitted in this race, so it'll be crucial to see when he comes into the pits.
See what times they've been doing. Sam Williams over the past few laps. 33-0, 33-2, 32-6, 33-0. So high 32s, low 33s, and then de Block over the past few laps. Been running mid to low 32s since he's pitted. So should be on for an undercut here, if anything. 32-6, 32-0, and 32-6 since he's pitted.
I've noticed Mirko Ricci has taken the fastest lap back off of Sam Williams. So that's keen to keep our eyes on that. But yeah, we're watching the closest fight, in fact the only fight on track at the moment, that of Wolski and Peckman, as Popovic is actually only 1.2 seconds up the road from Wolski here. So we had a nightmare of a pit stop, did Popovic. Andrew Taylor out the pits, and he's came out ahead of Gary Leach. So even Andrew Taylor got the jump on Gary Leach. That is huge for his teammate Sam Williams to score more points than Gary. And for the likes of Wolski as well, who's still in this championship fight. Who else is there? There's Greaves and Hunt, but they're down the order. Johnson's down the order. Millington's not here. Argent's not here. So Richie down the order as well. So, yeah, Sam really needs to get a good result here with Gary currently down in 9th. If Tanner and Sam come out ahead of Gary, Sam needs to be on that podium to really capitalise on them points.
Yeah, and we'll see how the race develops toward the end. I'm actually glad there's not too many battles right now, because I really did need to catch my breath there, and I felt like I was taking a sip of water every time I flipped my mic up to let you talk. And De Block has a good bit of clean air here, and he's been able to use it to push into it. We'll see if Sam pits this time round. I would think he'd pit sooner rather than later, but looks like he's going for the long game. I wonder if he won't be taking tires here. Could be a shout if you're already running this deep into the race without taking a new set of tires. Yeah, and honestly, Tanner's still on his starting tires in the BMW, which is probably a bigger surprise than the McLaren. And as I say that, he goes 20 miles wide at turn 1, so it might be time for that BMW to come in and get some 4 freshies on.
Well, the time you lose for the 25-second standing time in the pit lane is 55 seconds. If you swap tyres, that will be 60 seconds. So Sam needs a 55-second lead over Tyler De Block in this race. I'm currently watching the fight between Popovic, Wolski and Peckman just off the back, as Popovic trying to put a lap here on the Lamborghini of Tucker, who bounces over the curb, goes into the middle of the track. Wolski goes to the outside line of Tucker. Popovic, they split him like Riccardo's Zonta got split at Spa by Hakkinen and Schumacher, and Popovic still stays in front. So with Tanner's 16 seconds behind Sam Williams, where is De Block behind Tanner Kneebone? Because I think Sam may get the jump on Tyler De Block at this rate. We'll keep our eyes on it. Mirko Ricci into the pits. And Peckman being dropped slowly here by the likes of Popovic and Wolski. But at the minute, we've got another fight developing as well between Dronelander and Sturrock. Popovic just hasn't looked the same driver since his pit stop.
No, and I think it has to do with just the characteristics of this track. And the Mercedes not being the greatest on tire wear, especially when it gets hot like this. Very good at the start when everyone was on a even playing field. I think the tires have just gone off a little bit too much. And Peckman in the fight here. Am I wrong for an overall podium? Again.
Potentially, depending on where Williams and Tanner come out the pits, because they are in for their stops now. So let's go to Tyler De Block in a moment, because he's not.
Yeah,
quite
I think Tanner was behind Peckman.
He was, yes.
I think. So, if that holds true and Sam comes out ahead, still, yeah, he would be in the fight. He'd be running a net P5
Fourth.
Here.
Second, third, fourth. Yeah, fifth. Sorry.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here comes Tyler De Block. He's going to pass Sam Williams in the pits. So Tyler De Block leads this race. Here comes Popovic, Wolski and Peckman out the pit lane now. Sam is off the limiter, so Sam has got P2. Can he hunt down after Tyler De Block? Here comes Wolski side by side with the Mercedes-Benz of that of Popovic. Down in towards turn 1. Peckman watching from just behind. Wolski breaks that little bit earlier, carries that little less momentum, runs wider than Popovic. This allows Peckman to have a run. Now Wolski chops back to the inside line, breaks into turn 2. Great awareness from Popovic, but through goes Peckman as well with Wolski. He's not got the job done yet. Breaks and lets Popovic have that back. What a shame, because I think Peckman there could have got the jump on Popovic.
Yeah, not sure why he backed out of it, to be completely honest. And Stardog's joining the fight here, only a second off the back of Peckman.
He is indeed. So Stardog looking to get involved as well. What an epic night of racing this has been. Andrew Taylor within 1.7 of Tanner. So did Tanner... Yeah, Tanner stayed ahead of Gary. So Gary is down in P9. Huge points for Sam Williams here to claw back over Gary Leach in this championship. Cloud9, remember, cannot win the Constructors. So although Andrew Taylor's having a good night tonight, in this second race, they cannot win this Constructors Championship. It is all about getting Sam to win the drivers for them. So Andrew Taylor, you better believe it will be a rear gunner for Sam Williams in this championship fight.
Popovich is wide. Oh my goodness. Popovich is wide, ran over the curb, and then Peckman had to take avoiding action. That leaves the door open for Stardog, who gets one, wants to get two, but goes very narrow to the apex. Peckman might have a run back on him on this straight.
Yeah, let's keep our eyes on if Peckman does have a run back on him. Down this straight they come. This has been an epic fight so far in this race. What a day it has been in this race here at Valencia. And we are not done yet. We've got tomorrow night in the Pro Series coming up once again. As here goes Stardog, managing to cover off Peckman at the minute. Got a bit of damage as Stardog on that car. So not the cleanest looking car out there at this moment in time.
No, it's not, but it's still enough to be P5 right now. And this has allowed Wolski to break away from them just a little bit in P3. Not the quietest of podiums tonight if he gets one.
No.
But still, great drive. I'll be honest, that one incident he had was shocking, but since then he's driven brilliantly.
Oh, excuse me, as Sturrock's on the back of Dronelander once again. So Dronelander hasn't seemed himself recently, has he? He's just lacked a lot of pace as Dronelander.
Yeah, not sure why, whether if it's practice or equipment or something else, but yeah, it's just fighting for wins last year and just struggling to hold on to the car this year.
The fastest lap of the race, Jamal, is a 1:31.815 done by Mirko Ricci. So good pace from him. Stardog's right on the back of Popovich here. Did Popovich not take tyres? Because he seems very slow at the minute.
Could be. And yeah, Wolski's now really pulled away from this claiming P3 as his own, but this P4 fight right now, yeah. Popovich has really fallen off a cliff, so you might be right here. He might not have taken tires, and in a front engine car, they will be absolutely shouting at this point.
Tanner Kneebone's only 3.1 behind. Keep your eyes on him, maybe getting closer. Taylor's worked his way slowly.
And on fresh tires,
yeah,
probably.
Exactly. And Gary Leach is within a second of Andrew Taylor now, so this is where Taylor's really got to earn his money at Cloud9. He's really got to keep Gary Leach behind him for Sam Williams, who's probably not going to win this race. 7.4 seconds
Earn
the
his
gap.
seat for next season.
Earn his seat for next season. Yeah, you're probably right. As I'm sure he'll know what to do for Sam Williams. Andrew Taylor, a veteran of SimPlay Motorsport.
Something's happened to Mirko Ricci again.
He's been in the pits because he hadn't done his stop.
No, he's really slow right now.
Right. Oh, yeah, he is. Well, he's getting the blue flags for Wolski, so should move out the way soon.
Whoa.
And onto the grass. So, yeah, not sure what's happened there. Hopefully he stays out the way of Stardog, who's trying to battle Popovich while also trying to defend from Peckman. Now where's Tanner Kneebone? Where's Mirko Ricci rejoining? He rejoins fine. And Andrew Taylor within a second of Tanner. Gary within 7 of Andrew Taylor. Back further forward, though. Popovich under pressure from Stardog, who's under pressure from Peckman. And they stay as they was through turn 1. Gary getting closer to Andrew Taylor here. Into turn 1 they go. Excuse me. And Gary just looking to try and claw some points back in this race. P9 still not a bad result for Gary Leach. And obviously Sam's not winning the race to score maximum points, but it will just close that gap a little bit.
It will, and I'm not sure what Mirko Ricci's doing out there right now. If you have an issue, park it in the pits, because he's absolutely ruined Andy Taylor's couple corners, which is going to help Gary Leach out in this fight. But yeah, if you have an issue, yeah.
Gary Leach nearly to the rear end of Andrew Taylor there.
If you have a wheel issue of some sort, just get it off the track. Yeah. If you can't drive, you can't drive. And yeah, Gary's putting Andy all under all sorts of pressure now.
Tanner as well has got the gap under 3 seconds down to Peckman, so he's coming. Gary Leach is all sideways. He's had a moment. Off he goes. He manages to half save it there in that half spin, but Andrew Taylor can just wipe the sweat off the top of his brow and can try and hunt after Tanner Kneebone once again. But you're right, Mirko there was just... in the way, just being a nuisance. Here comes Peckman. He's got the up and under on Stardog out the final corner. Peckman trying to get alongside the Porsche, can't do so.
Can't do so, but it should have a better straight line speed than the Porsche. Now ducks back to the inside, backs out of it very wisely, and lives to fight another day.
The problem for Peckman here, and I think why he's breaking a little bit more than what we're seeing, is he's got a bronze championship to think about. And yes, points are scored for overall as Popovic has a huge moment. Is that the tyres falling off the Mercedes? Here goes Peckman to have a look on Stardog. Drive through for Hunt for track limits. They all stay as they are. But now, Tanner Kneebone's in play. But what I'm saying is if Peckman's fighting for that bronze championship, he doesn't need to be involved in an incident here which could allow Malarex and Broom to get in. Like that! Exactly like
goodness.
That! Stardog and Popovic both hit around. Gary Leach has just tapped the front of Stardog there. So Gary Leach may be carrying damage. I don't know where Popovic has ended up. He has stayed ahead of Gary Leach. But that has put Gary up a couple of places. Williams will not be wanting that. But Peckman now running 4th place.
Yeah, sorry for shouting there, but yeah, Stardog was way too late on the brakes. Basically punted Popovic, who is definitely struggling with tires and that damage to make it even worse now. Peckman somehow, some way, avoided the likes of Stardog in the middle of the track. And yeah, just like that, as you were saying, that is definitely what he wanted to pick up a position. I'm not sure he'll mind if he does lose one to Tanner Kneebone here. And shout out to Tanner here. In the BMW, not a great track. Was not happy in practice, just not working for him. And he's kept it patient, and he has a chance at P4 here.
He does indeed, and Gary Leach is all over the back of Popovic at the moment. Pulls out to have a look at turn 2. Is he going up the inside? Yes, he is. Gary Leach gets another place from Popovic. Now he gets it finished, and that puts Gary Leach yet another step further forward in this race. The driver of the day poll is out. Stardog, Peckman, Popovic. Other, if you select other, please comment in the chat who you have selected for your driver of the day. But Gary Leach now up into 7th place, just cutting that points to Sam Williams, who, by the way, over the last 2 or 3 laps has got the gap down to 5 seconds. So interesting to see there. Stop-go penalty speeding in the pit lane for Hunt. That has put his day to bed even worse. And Malarex having a look now on that of Stardog, and Malarex looking to close the gap to Peckman. Stardog tries to defend the inside. They both make a little bit of contact. Stardog tries to get the up and under. This will have Malarex on the inside for the double right-hander. Stardog with huge front-end damage, and Malarex gets through. This could also get Neil Broom through here.
Yeah, Peckman just had a moment through the right-hander, the fast right-hander in the last sector, and has left the door open for Tanner, who moves up into P4. He's not on the driver of the day poll, but a P6 in race 1, and right now P4 in race 2. Good shout.
Great shout. But if you do pick other, please do comment who the other driver is that you think should be driver of the day. But what a race we're seeing. Tanner now moves up into 4th. Taylor within a second of these two. Peckman's coming back, although he had a look. Thinks better of it. Sam's got the gap under 5 seconds to the block now. Still 13 minutes left, so doable. Neil Broom has now got past Stardog. So as Peckman loses out to Kneebone, Malarex and Broom get ahead of Stardog. So the gap in the bronze points just closes a little bit more in terms of Peckman not pulling away as much.
Yeah, but this is very good for Peckman, who's going to have a great, obviously the best chance as the championship leader, but it is going to be hard for Neil Broom to make this up in the final round at Donington. Peckman has just been on it the past, really since Watkins Glen is when he really put his foot down. And Peckman's been on it just ever since then. And it is looking really good for him right now. It would take pretty much, at this point, almost a no-show at Donny for it to go awry for him.
Yeah, he would indeed. Sam's got the gap down to 4.3. Class saying that all the championships are tight. To be honest, they are indeed. There's only 2 championships being confirmed, and that was silver, a provisionally won. That is silver and bronze in the Who Darren Cup. All these 3 championships are going to go to the Donington Decider next week. So crucial there. Peckman's still within that range of Tan and Ebone. Taylor's only 1.3 behind. Gary Leach is trying to gain all that time back. Popovic dropping off. Could Malarex and Broom maybe gain on Popovic, as here's Stardog. He's well clear of Sturrock at the moment, but trying to hang on for that P11 so far. And Dronelander and Sturrock having a good fight. Sturrock's very, very wide. Dronelander comes through. They make contact. Sturrock goes on to the gravel as Dronelander was deep at the corner. What a shame between them two, because that was a good little fight. We kept changing to it every now and again. But Peckman here is fighting for P4 in this race. This has been fantastic. Flores back into the pits. That's a lengthy stop for Flores as well. He's been in for a while now. So he could tumble down the order. And Sam Greaves may be looking at possibly another position, because he's going to unlap himself from Flores. And the longer Flores stays in that pits, the more chance Sam Greaves has got of getting another place back. And could be P17 after this one. Stapley's not had a great race here in race 2. But if you like what you see here, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are now 3 subscribers away from 1.2 thousand, as well as hitting the bell to be notified when we go live. We'll be back live at 8 p.m. BST tomorrow night with myself in the commentary box. And as well, check out our fantastic sponsor, Design Manchester, in the description below. As here comes that now of Peckman, tried to get past that of Tan and Ebone, but he's just half a second behind. I tell you what.
Oh, Gary's off. Gary's
in a
off
big way.
in the last sector. Oh my goodness, that is massive damage and massive implications for the championship.
He's got to pit. He cannot turn that car at speed. Gary Leach has got to pit in this race. He's already down to 10th. So Malarex and Broom gain an extra position. Gary is pitting in this race. And that for Sam Williams and Wolski and Tanner is absolutely huge in this championship battle.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to pull up the replay here and yeah, just unbelievable turn of events in these last few minutes.
Absolutely crazy at the moment from Gary Leach here. What has happened? What has gone wrong? Langley's going to tell us and find out. In fact, if Langley does a
give me a moment.
Share screen, I will try and get the share screen up on my camera so we could show you the incident itself. But oh my days, what has happened there for Gary Leach?
Just saw the yellow flag, and it is a case of all on his own, it seems, as I get this pulled up.
So I will try and get this to you in a moment. Here we go. So let's change the camera angle over. You will be able to see, obviously, bits of Discord. So ignore that for the time being. I will keep you informed in what is happening out there on the track. But, yeah, I believe we're ready to go, Langley. Although, yeah, we are ready to go. So this is Gary Leach coming through the chicane.
All normal now.
Yeah.
It happens at this fast right-hander. And BMW has been slidey all day. Misses the apex just slightly and loses it. Bang.
That is a hard hit into the wall there for Gary Leach in this one. So that is what has happened to Gary Leach there. And, yeah, what a shame for him. But where as he came out, actually, he's down in 15th place. He's a lap ahead of Taylor, thankfully for him. But he's now behind that of Stardog. Is that for position? Or is that a lap down? Because Stardog's saying he's 10th. Gary's 15th. So we'll keep our eyes on that. I think Gary...
Yeah, Gary's a lap down to Stardog. Yeah.
I'm not seeing the one lap anywhere. That's what's confusing me, though. Because saying Tanner's a lap down, but he's not crossed the start line yet.
Privet's two laps
Privet's
behind.
Two laps behind. Sorry, yep. Apologies, ignore me. That'll be why that's saying that then. Sturrock's on the back of Dronelander, the 207. That's Mick Taylor, as Flores is back out the pits as well. Greaves is up 17th. He's got ahead of Johnson, so Greaves has moved forward a little bit more. Here comes Sturrock on Dronelander. Can't get the move done there, so they just stay as they was. What an epic race this is turning into be, by the way. This has been one of the craziest races we've seen for a long time.
It is making for an absolute spicy Donington decider next week, and I think Peckman has a pretty good hold on this bronze championship. But man, this silver one just got blown open.
Well, you say Peckman's got a pretty good hold. Malarex and Broom are on the back of Popovich nearly, and Andrew Taylor's on the back of Peckman, although Peckman might look to have a look on Tanner Nebo and doesn't think about doing so. Peckman has been in the thick of the drama today, but so has Popovich, I suppose, and he's now fighting for P9 in this race. But my oh my, Sam, by the way, 3.3 off the leader with 6 minutes to go.
Sam might be happy with a P2.
Yeah.
Sam might be happy with a P2 now. He might be ecstatic with a P2. Wants to win the race, but if he's just learned what's happened to Gary, oh boy.
Yeah, I think you could be right there. Let me just take a look at what the points would be. So Gary at the minute is down in 15th. Sam Williams is running second. That will be a 41-point swing for Sam Williams at this moment in time, making him 55.5 points behind Gary Leach with 173 to play for. So it will be game on at Donington Park.
Game on for sure, and anything can happen. Sam won the last time around Donington Park we raced. Last time we went to Donny, Sam won, got the monkey off his back, we said. Yeah. So he has not led the championship this year. That is a very good point to put out there. He may have after Hungary if he had learned how to fuel his car, but he has not led the championship this year.
Yeah. Could he do it at the most important time? I suppose, Langley, right at the very end.
It's all you need. I mean, if we think back to F1 last year, Piastri led for the majority of the year, didn't win it. And could it be the same fate? We will see. And oh boy, can we skip to Donny already? I'm rubbing my hands. I'm
do another 2 races right now.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing to mention though is Gary loves Donington, loves a British track. Stephen was saying last night on commentary that it does look very mixed for Donington, as here goes Malarex looking up the inside of Popovich, can't do the move there. Andrew Taylor's lost time to Peckman now. Where's Gary Leach though? He's 1.5 off the back of Tucker, so Gary could gain an extra place. But Broom and Malarex all over the back of Popovich at the moment. There is Gary Leach in the background.
Yeah, Tucker's on. Gary's only 3 seconds off of Privet as well.
Yeah, and I think looking at Privet's car, he had a bit of front end damage on the bonnet. Yeah, he has. There we go. So we see it now. So yeah, bit of damage. Flores drive-through penalty for track limits. That could give Mirko Ricci an extra spot. So that could put Mirko Ricci up a couple of points as well. But Malarex and Broom really putting pressure. 3 bronze drivers in the top 10 tonight. What an effort.
Great effort. And honestly, it's because they've kept it on track. Because there's been wheel disconnects, there's been mistakes, there's been sliding all over the place. And the BMW was the dominant car last week. Not so much this week. It's looking like the McLaren is this week.
I'd say so. As Gary Leach within a second now of Tucker. Tucker just over a second behind Privets. This could put Gary Leach up to 13th and just get some points back in this race. But he's got to get past them with 2 minutes 48 to go. Back down to Malarex, who's having a look up the inside of Popovich. Can't do the move there out of the corner into the chicane section now. And Popovich just bouncing off the grid. Popovich's tyres for me have just dropped off the edge of a cliff. He's got nothing out there at the moment. Jamal in all capitals. Come on, Sam. I think 2.2 seconds in 2.5 minutes is a big ask. But plus, you've got to think, does Sam want to risk try and overtake for the race win and possibly lose out a couple more places? I mean, they've got a good gap over Wolski, to be fair, as Gary Leach coming out the final corner with Privet and with Tucker. Gary Leach is up the inside of Tucker. That's Taylor, who's coming across on the racing line ahead of the lead cars. He's being blue flagged. He's come right in front of them at the braking zone. And drive-through cleared for Flores. And somehow nobody makes contact there. Tucker a little wide. Is this Gary Leach's opportunity to get up the inside line in towards turn 2 of Tucker? Taylor right in the way. Gary passes Tucker with ease, and he's now on the back of Privet straight away.
Yeah, he should get Privet because there'll be at least... I think that we might be going on to the last lap right now.
Yes, we will be, because they're doing 1:33s and there's less than 1 minute 30 as Tyler de Block starts then what will be the final lap of this race. Gary Leach pushing Privet near enough out the corner and down towards the hairpin they come in the middle sector. Gary Leach then is alongside up the inside of Privet. Has he got the move done? Yes, he has. Gary's up to 13th place now. So Claus, 2 amount of places back. Malarex on the back of Popovic still. Sturrock still on the back of Jonelander. There is Sturrock. Where's Gary? He's too far back, I think, to get anything. Sam's got the gap down to 1.6, but has got lap traffic of one of the 4Q cars in front of him. I don't think Sam's going to do this. I think Sam's just best off settling for that second place as Sam goes up the inside of the 96 of Sam Greaves. And Peckman, side by side.
Got in the way.
He did a little bit. Peckman, sorry, Langley was side by side with Tanner Kneebone there.
Yeah, Greaves got in the way of a little bit, not of Sam Williams, as I was going to say.
Oh.
He actually got in the way of Tyler de Block a little bit, nose to tail contact as de Block was lapping Greaves, but only one sector to go now. I think that's pretty cut and dry. I think de Block's going to take this one here.
Yeah, I think you might be right, because they're coming towards the end of this race. We'll go on board with Tyler de Block. There is Sam Williams. He may have felt that if it was a 90-minute race, he'd have probably had this race win in the bag. But Tyler de Block, you cannot fault his performance here. What a race win this is going to be for Tyler de Block. Not seen a feature race win for him in some time. Tyler de Block is going to take the checkered flag and win at Valencia. Sam Williams, second place. Good drive from him. Wolski outscoring Gary as well. That'll be third place. Clawing some points back in this championship fight. Good drive from the young man there. As Wolski comes across the line. Tanner Kneebone looks like he's going to hang on in there for P4 from Peckman, who is down in 5th place, but your leader in bronze. That is huge for Peckman, who will knock Tucker, Privet, Cherrymore and Malarex out of the running here. Tanner Kneebone P4. Peckman wins in bronze in 5th. Andrew Taylor will cross the line for P6. Good result for the Cloud9 drivers tonight, a 6th and a 2nd. Popovic is going to hang on for P7 over the likes of Malarex and Neil Broom, who crossed the line 9th and 8th respectively. In this one, Stardog is going to come to the line in P10. Was out the running after race 1. Still out the running here. Gary Leach has finished a lap down in 13th place, so that is huge for him in this race as well. Stardog crosses the line, P10. Sturrock has got past Dronelander finally, so he has managed to make his way through. The question is, will he stay in front in this one at the moment? A few drivers have left, so I'll get full result classifications in just a few moments' time when they all cross the line. But we're just waiting for these two, duking it out. Dronelander's going to look to have that run at the very end. Don't think he's going to be able to get it. That Mercedes-Benz is no slouch in a straight line. So P11 for Dronelander, 12th for Dronelander, 11th for Sturrock in what has been a good result. And Langley, what an absolute brilliant race.
I mean, you want action pack, you got action pack tonight. Trying to keep an eye on both championship contenders, and they decided every time that one started to fight, the other was going to start to fight, and then we're going to have one three-way battle, and then another three-way battle, and they're going to have one pit stop cycle, and then another pit stop cycle, and then some more battles after the pit stop cycle. I mean, you got what you asked for tonight.
Yeah, you really did. It was an epic night's worth of brilliant racing in this one. It really was fantastic to watch throughout the whole night here. The championship standings then are as follows. Let me just double check that I've got them bits deleted. Yes, I have. Right, so in the team's championship, it is a 4-way fight, but the order has dramatically changed. SimPlay Racing lead under 200 points to Greasy Bandits in 2nd place. 4Q are now 3rd, with Forever Forward in 4th. Then it's Cloud9 in 5th. who I think are finished 5th. I don't think they can get 4th place. Team GBR 6th, Vanguard Race Team 7th, Richie's Course Team 8th, Team Merlot 9th, FRO Racing Team, Balkan Simmel, Black and Blue Racing, Pages Race Team, Billy No Makes, Mustang Alley Racing. In bronze, it is a 4-way fight between Peckman, Broome, Stapley and Malarex. Tucker can no longer win it, neither can Cherry Moore, Privet, Taylor, Page, Simcoe or Smith. And in silver, we're down to just 5 drivers. Millington, Hunt, Greaves, Johnson, Argent can no longer win the championship. It is Gary Leach who leads from Sam Williams. Wolski is 3rd from Mirko Ritchie with Tan and Ebone in that top 5. Tan and Ebone looks very unlikely, but he is still in that recognition. Steve Millington is 6th from Hunt 7th, Greaves 8th, Johnson 9th, Argent rounding out the top 10 from Keenan Stardog, Diego Flores, Tyler de Block, Gabino, Sturrock, Popovich, Williams, Taylor, Craig, Dronelander, Betterson and Bounce the Limiter. I believe we are being joined now by a couple of our podium finishers. But before, in fact, no, we'll get to Langley after. We'll go to Wolski first of all. 3rd place, Wolski. But that BMW looked an absolute handful tonight.
Hi, guys. Yeah, it was really. I had a decent setup, no practice whatsoever, so I was pretty surprised with my pace today, especially with all of my adventures and excursions. I had a couple of great fights on the way, so P3 is actually a great result for me. I wasn't expecting the podium today with my adventures, let's say. So yeah, I'm very pleased.
Very pleased indeed. It looked a really tricky race, as we've already said, but yeah, just the BMW just didn't seem to have it all its own way. What you have done though is you've brought yourself and kept yourself in that championship contention.
Yeah, exactly. The funny thing is that I had the 2 track limit warning in first two laps of the feature race, so I was pretty scared going forward. But I had my rhythm, and somehow I kept it together without going outside the track. Yeah, so very nice. Also, I'm a bit surprised to be 3rd in the championship, so that's nice too. Yeah,
indeed. We head to Donington Park to end the season next week. What's your thoughts on what you can do around Donington?
It's let's say okay track for me, but I never had the decent result there, or I just can't remember.
Well,
yeah. So yeah.
Either way, buddy, we wish you the best of luck. Good luck in the championship fight. I'm sure it's going to be one heck of a night in Pro-Am next week. Well done tonight, and we'll see you at Donington.
Thanks. Bye.
And we're joined as well by Sam Williams. We'll go to now, 2nd place. Sam, crazy racing there. You was 3rd, way behind the front 2. You managed to catch up to them pretty quick. You got ahead of Tyler. Was on the back of Popovich for a while. Just mental. And then obviously after the round of pit stops, Tyler was well in front of you and you was having to chase him down. What a race.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. Really enjoyed it though. And I know my starts aren't always good. So I usually kind of get swamped at the start. They're all really good moves. And then Gary Leach somehow did incredible to get up ahead of me. And then I knew I had to get past him and outscore him. So that was a fun couple of laps, and then it was just hammer down, try to catch up. De Block and Popovich pitted, and I thought, right, it's clean air, let's try and get some good lap times in, but probably overdriven the tyres slightly. They weren't the right pressures, and I probably should have pitted a couple of laps earlier. But yeah, managed to get some decent laps in afterwards, catch up. Not quite enough time in it, but outscored everybody I needed to, so well happy with it.
Yeah, indeed. And really as well, it was a cracking night in terms of the pace you've shown, because you was really gaining on Tyler at the end within 0.8 of a second at the line. Had there been 2 or 3 more laps, it could have been a different story, or at least another great fight out there, but the pace was there tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I just needed to not overdrive. I knew I had pace here, but it's tricky to try and get it down, especially with all the chaos that's going on. So yeah, as soon as I was catching up and I was looking at how much time I had left, and I thought maybe I didn't expect to try and catch him at quite that rate. He was pretty quick, so yeah, another couple of laps maybe could have had it, but yeah, very happy with second.
Very happy with second indeed. Keeps you provisionally at the moment second in the championship until tables are obviously posted. Nothing's confirmed yet. But, you're now within, I think it's 50, 60 points of Gary Leach going into Donington Park where you were so strong last season. Does that kind of give you a bit of confidence going into that championship finale?
Yeah, absolutely. This is exactly where I wanted to be. Halfway through the season, I didn't think I'd be able to get here, but I wanted to get within touch distance for these 2 rounds, especially Donington. Won their last season. I know I've got pace. The car feels good. So yeah, to have the decider there, yeah, it's going to be good.
It's going to be interesting indeed. Well, Sam, congratulations tonight. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you very much. Good night.
And we can speak to Tyler de Block as well. Tyler, congratulations on the race win. It's been a while since we've had you on the podium. The McLaren looked really good. You looked really good. A great fight with Popovich and Williams, but ultimately that pit stop got you the gap you needed to win this race.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be completely honest. Before the race, I hadn't done the track. I haven't raced for 2 weeks because my wheel was broke. So I was going in with no setup, no track experience, and a new wheel setup. The qualifying lap was quite literally the fastest I'd ever gone around the track. And then just lap after lap was just, I don't know, a pure fucking masterclass, excuse my language. But yeah, no, I'll be honest as well. The early pit stop saved me unbelievable. I don't know where Wolski went off to. I don't know what happened with him, but I came out a couple seconds ahead of him in the pit lane. And then Williams had me shaken to the bone from like 20 minutes left, right down to the last lap. If he had one more lap, he would have had me. The only reason he didn't pass me was because I crossed the line when the time ran out.
He was really gaining on you at the end, 0.8 of a second from what was, I think over 10 seconds after the pit stops. He was on a mission to try and get you. The McLaren just looked really good tonight. I know you said you've had very little practice and due to new wheel setup and things like that, but the McLaren just looked like it suited this circuit, didn't it? Would you kind of agree with that?
Oh yeah, I'll be honest, it was beautiful as well. It's just the track suited the McLaren beautifully. I wouldn't have wanted to be in any other car, although it was quite slow in the straight, but I think that was because I raised my rear wing. I was running on max rear wing. I'm not sure if that's the fastest way around the track, but hey ho, got there in the end.
You did indeed. We head to Donington Park, final race of the season, obviously the home of SimPlay. Going to be an interesting one. Obviously, a couple of drivers still fighting for that championship, so it's going to be a very interesting race to be a part of. You're sadly not in that championship hunt, but you want to go out there and just take as many wins or podiums as you can. Yeah,
I mean, hopefully next season I can attend more races because I'd like to be. I think I could personally. Yeah. I think I could be up there. I mean, Donington's next. I don't really care about the championship. I'm not in there to win it. So I mean, it's more just my race getting the win. I feel quite confident around Donington, so I'll hopefully be up there.
Well, congratulations tonight, buddy. We'll see you at Donington next week. Have a good one.
Thank you. See you.
And Langley, final thoughts from you today, as well as your bronze and silver driver of the day.
Heckman easily takes driver of the day again for me. It's a bit of a cop-out. Now, I'm between 2 drivers for silver, because I also didn't realize Wolski finished P5 in race 1. And I guess since he got a podium in race 2, I'll have to give it to him, because he has had the best overall results today.
Yeah. Seeing as I was looking over the results while you were saying that, I think bronze is pretty easy. Peckman, it's not the fact that he's winning the bronze races, it's the fact of where he's finishing overall, I think, is what he gets my vote for driver of the day for, who he's racing against. But I was looking at the results. You've gone Wolski, so I am going to go Tanner. I'm going to make it even between them two for the driver of the day for the commentators in silver, so they both get it, because I think both their results have been brilliant. If you'd have said Tanner, I was going to say Wolski. So I think them two driver of the day for silver, Peckman for bronze. The vote in the audience for driver of the day went the way of Peckman as well, so they go for Peckman. But that is it for the penultimate round of Donington Park here in the Silver and Bronze Pro-Am Championship. There are multiple drivers who can win next week. 5 drivers in silver, 4 drivers in bronze, 4 teams can win the championship. It is all to play for at Donington Park. You are not going to want to miss a moment of the action. If you have, hit that bell to be notified. We'll be back live tomorrow night for the Pro Series, 8 p.m. BST. Is the time for the stream to be starting. Don't want to miss the pros around here at Valencia. Hit the bell to be notified for that. The thumbs up button on this stream if you've liked what you've seen. And subscribe to the channel if you are new. As well as if you are at Donington Park this weekend, give me a message or on Discord, or Mike Matthews a message on Discord. We'll arrange a meet. We'll meet up somewhere. We'll have a drink too. We'll have a good time watching the British Touring Car Championship. But from me, Langley, and the whole team, we're going to say good night in what has been probably, and I don't know if Langley's going to agree with me on this, the race of this, or the track of the season in terms of the drama we've had.
Oh, that's really hard. I don't know. Oh, that's really hard. Watkins Glen was quite spicy.
It was. That was the weather that played its part at Watkins Glen.
For dry race, yeah, I'll give it to you.
Well, Langley best get his thoughts together on what was possibly moments of the season for next week when we ask him what has possibly been his favourite part of Pro-Am this season. But for me, Langley, and the whole of the